Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
Welcome back to Primal Scream. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And today is the February 12th.
Only because your daughter's birthday is a day away.
No, because I had training today and I was remembering I had to write the fucking date down so many different times today.
Too funny. I knew there was an excuse as to why you would know that. Either way, your daughter's birthday or you had to write it down.
There had to be something. It couldn't be from the watch that's on my wrist because I never look at that shit.
Why would you ever want to use that?
Why would I do that?
It's crazy.
Who does that type of thing?
Don't use that.
Technology.
Yep.
It's a waste.
Very nice. Well, hey, everybody. We're glad you're listening.
Yeah.
It's a snowy Iowa evening. First off, finally, we think we're breaking this cold spell. It's been negative temperatures for off and on for 3 or 4 weeks.
30 days, I think. 30 days straight.
And I'm a winter lover. I love winter, and I'm about done.
I'm fucking sick of winter.
I am. I'm really getting there. So,
what's going on in the world today, Todd?
Well, hey, I was going to tell you that I thought there was some. Well, you know, the Sochi Olympics are on still, right? So I thought
they just started, right? Didn't they just start?
Was that Thursday or Friday? Oh, sorry, I can't remember last week. Yeah, it was Friday night. So yeah, they just started, but then don't last forever. And I thought it was interesting that, you know, all we hear is all the bad stuff. But there was a really cool...
Like the toilets.
And the guys bashing themselves through, you know, doors to get out because the bathroom door is locked. And you see that picture online?
No.
One of the lead, I think the captain of America's bobsled team, just this big fucking brute of a guy, went into the bathroom and it locked shut and he couldn't get out. And so he just bashed the door down and he put himself right through the door. And the door's made out of like corrugated cardboard. So you can see the pictures online. It's just a riot. Yeah. I mean, if you see a picture of the guy, you're like, oh, so that's why that hole's that big. He's just a big fucking dude. So that was that was some of the funny things in the toxic water. But then a Canadian coach.
A Canuck?
Oh, no, I think that's a hockey team person. Oh, God, Eric's going to love me here and saying that term. It's a hockey team person. He's a Canadian coach, and there's a guy whose ski broke, where there was a Russian, I can't remember who it was, that the ski broke on the diathlon, where they
Decathlon?
They cross-country ski and they shoot, but it lasts like an hour. I mean, it's like, just looks horrible. His ski broke.
Cross country.
So he ran. Shoot. He had an extra ski on the sidelines, and he ran over and switched skis out for him, so he could at least finish the race. It was kind of cool to see like some people stand up and do some good, you know, what do you call it, sportsmanship kind of thing. I like that.
Yeah.
Shaun White didn't get a gold medal. That was kind of a bummer.
Oh, he didn't.
Got 4th place. He killed it in the prelims. He had like the highest score so far that whole entire for the Olympics in the half pipe, and that was just the prelims. Mm-hmm. And then the actual when you got to step in and do it. He usually just steps up and just kills it. But he got 4th. And I think it was like Finland. There was like the 15-year-old kid from Japan got the silver. 15. He's 120 pounds and he's 5'1".
So he's just it's like
he's just a little fella.
Yeah, it's like a gymnastic dream right there. Just a small, compact, light body, and you can just do fucking whatever.
Yeah. Now he doesn't have the mass to get like these. Like Shaun White I think went 24 feet out of the pipe on that run that was really good. 23 feet out of the pipe, just sailing above the pipe when he came out of it. And this kid can't pull those kind of heights because he just can't get the momentum. You know, there's just not enough mass there, and so he can't do quite. But he did some really awesome tricks, and that was I think that's the big flaw, because like Brody, I forget his last name, downhill skier, was the fastest going in, doing great, 6th. We women's downhill snowboarding trick stuff, we got a gold medal for that. That was pretty good. But I think so far, it seems like these Olympics, first of all, are the most expensive, and have been a little kind of like, you know, it just kind of hasn't been the greatest. I don't know. I'm a huge lover of the Olympics, as I said last time on the podcast, and this one's been kind of just a little bit of a downer. You know, to know that the athletes are having to walk over mud pits on boards because there's no sidewalks, and they can't use their shower heads or showers because the water's toxic. And have you heard about Bob Costas has like
Pink
the
eye?
worst, but in both eyes. Have you seen the
in
pictures
both
of him?
eyes? No.
Oh,
no.
it looks like he's been like smoking pot for 5 weeks.
I did hear about it. I heard that he's even making fun of himself.
Yeah.
But that's good. I mean, it's okay. Nobody's perfect all the time.
Right.
And sometimes you have a little thing. Maybe sometimes your eyes are swollen shut with
But
pink
he took
eye.
the day off yesterday because
he just couldn't
keep doing it. And I never had pink eye, thank goodness, and I heard it's bad. But when they showed pictures of him, that it looks like he looks like a creature from another world. His eyes are so red, and they're so red and puffy and watery behind his glasses. You're like, oh my God, it looks like somebody just took a dump in his eyes. This looks horrible.
You never know. Maybe somebody did at his hotel. Just took a dump on his pillow.
There was all this stuff that was like, yeah. Oh, I was going to say something funny that happened was Justin Bieber. You know, he's had all this trouble recently, this troubled young man.
Yeah.
I guess he was in a coffee shop in West Hollywood. And I don't know if you know who Blake Griffin is.
No.
He's a basketball player, big guy.
Okay.
I guess Blake Griffin just popped him one in some coffee shop because he was being a little dick. And so they had this, I guess the police were calling and all this stuff. But Justin Bieber is not a very big kid. You know, he's kind of a little guy. And Blake's a big fella. You know, he's not just a tall, skinny basketball player. He's like a big dude.
This is the empathy that I have for Justin Bieber. He's just a kid that has been surrounded by media and paparazzi and drowns in wealth. And I didn't know who I was, and I was making huge, stupid mistakes, but I wasn't underneath the microscope. He is. So I can't imagine, and I don't think hardly any of us can unless you're a child star or a famous musician or actor, what it feels like to be under that microscope day in and day out, especially as a teenager.
Yeah. What it does to your psyche.
Yeah, and what you think reality is, and everybody loves me, and I can
do whatever I
can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want, and reality is really not that way.
Yeah. Well, what happened was he walked in with no shirt on, with his pants, hanging down around his, with his boxers showing and his ass hanging out of his pants. And the bartender said, "Hey, I'll be happy to serve you a drink, but you have to put a shirt on." And he said, "I'm not putting a shirt on. Don't you know who I am?" And he said, "Yeah, I know who you are, but you're really going to have to put a shirt on if I'm going to serve you. It's one of our rules here. I'm going to fucking kick your ass." Started going off on him. I'm going to have my bodyguard kick your ass. And so I guess Blake Griffin was at a table and went over and tried to calm the situation and say, "Hey man, let's settle down," and stuff like that. And I guess Justin Bieber started, going off and pushing and shoving and stuff like that. And I guess he just smacked him one, knocked him to the ground, and he turned around and walked out and left. Justin Bieber did, before the police arrived. So,
okay.
I just thought it was funny because it was because we talk about checking people.
Sure.
Nobody's been checked. So
there's a good check for him.
Here's an adult who's just sitting there going, even as things are progressing, saying, "Hey man, let's step back," and I'm assuming, let's take a breath here. Let's just relax for a second and see if we can figure this out. And he goes off on him, and then pow, and knocks his ass to the ground. And it's just like, sorry, bud, that's not how like you just said, that's not how the world works. Got to get a clue. I just think it's sad that goes from
that nobody else has helped him figure
nobody's
this out.
checked him, but he's really not that old. When he was discovered on YouTube videos, he was in 16? His teen. No, he was like
14.
I want to say he was like 10 or 11.
Oh, no kidding.
So he was pretty young. But then they were not well-to-do people then, and so he had been raised up to 10 to be okay, and then he still has his mother in his life, I assume.
Yeah, but again, when you look at I would think that if you get sucked into looking at the magazines and being told you're
the shit all the time, you do
constantly,
no wrong.
You're a god. You're a god among men, and all the little chickie mommies want you, and you have all that money, and you have a bodyguard, and people are just like afraid of you, or they're asking for your autograph. You would feel like a god, and so. How could you possibly wrap your head around that? Even if you did have people say, "Hey man, that's really not how the world works." You just have to have your world has to be wrecked at times. You and I have talked about that when we were younger. I did something extremely stupid, and I got caught stealing, and it ruined my college career at a particular college, but that fundamentally changed who I am. I mean, that is one of those pivotal points that I can remember very clearly thinking, I never want to feel this way again. I never want somebody who I look up to, who was a collegiate wrestling coach,
right,
look at me with such disgust.
Right.
So from that point on, I never stole or put myself in any type of a situation where I felt like anybody who I looked up to could look at me with disgust.
Right. Yeah. So that was an interesting story. I was also kind of caught off guard. I'm trying not to focus on too many shitty things, but because of this, Putin saying that he's not going to allow any gay protesting, right? He's done a bunch of anti-gay stuff before the thing started. So half of the uniforms from
so it was a cool thing. Putin was saying, I'm not going to allow any
he was saying, I'm an anti-gay person. If you're gay, keep it in the closet. We're not going to. I'm not going to. So he was
saying, I don't want to see any pro-gay advertising.
Right. And so people, of course, here went nuts, and Obama sent a fully gay group of people
Entourage.
To the Olympics. Yeah, it's former Olympians. It was they were all gay on purpose, obviously. Half of the outfits on opening night, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw clips of it, were about as rainbow bright as you can get. Almost all of them were like
to make a statement
in his face kind of thing. Yeah. So it was that was kind of bumming. But then I've been seeing more and more YouTube videos of people in Russia just beating the shit out of people. Hey, what are you doing here? Why are you in this area? Oh, I was at a costume party and I'm trying to get home, and then like punching and kicking people, or some guy literally trapped in a corner and there's these huge fucking dudes that have him pinned in there and they're like shaving his head with wireless clippers, writing all over his body, faggot and all this kind of stuff. I mean, like really horrible kind of bullying kind of stuff that's been on the internet quite a bit recently because of this whole thing. They're saying this is why it's gotten so bad, because Putin's allowing it, and then these kind of things are okay. They're putting on YouTube and nobody's getting in trouble for, beating somebody up because they're gay, that kind of thing. So that kind of part was, depressing because, you always hope that we're just getting past some of this stuff.
You know what, though?
Working past it.
This is, I hope that when people hear this, they can hear it through the correct paradigm or through the correct whatever. The other day when I saw, who's the young man who just got done with college? He wants to go into the NFL draft, and he came out and said, I'm gay, before he went into the draft. What's his name?
Sam something. But he's a defensive lineman. No, he's a linebacker for Missouri.
Okay. My wife was watching The View. I'll put it off on her. I don't want to say I was watching The View. She was watching The View. I caught part of their conversation about how great it is that this guy's coming out. And my first instinct was, I hate labels. I do. Matt does. I hate labels of any kind. I try really, really hard not to go, hey, yeah, that white guy over there, or that skinny bitch, or that fat dude, or the bald dude. I would try to say that man over there, or that woman over there. And it feels like we're never going to get away from this stuff because people voluntarily say, "Please label me." You
don't think he's breaking ground by
dude? The ground's been broken. It's been broken for years.
Well, that's not true. That's not true in the NFL. It's still this like man's man kind of thing, and he's already gotten huge backlash from players.
If people are so stupid to think that in all of the sports there's not a gay person in any of the sports. First of all, here's
right.
The most important thing is it's none of our business. I'm not telling you to keep it in the closet. I'm telling you it's none of my business.
Right.
I don't need to know, and I don't want to know what you do behind the door. Now, if you want me to label you, oh, there's that black gay man. There's that black gay football player. If that's how you want to be known for the rest of your life, fine. Do what you're doing. If that's how you want the world to label you, then do what a lot of other people are doing and labeling themselves. It just gets old after a while, and I feel like we're never going to get past this when people continually make a huge dramatic scene. And I brought this up to my wife, and I tried to say it. I tried to say it as far as I hate labels, and I wish we could all get away from labels. I don't want people to say, oh, there's that Republican. No, that's the problem with our society right now. We're so hung up on labels. We don't see people for who they are.
Right.
We don't say, that's an amazing actor. No, we go, that's an amazing gay actor. And does nobody see the problem with that? Your sexuality should not define who you are.
Right.
I want you to live your life however you want to live. I don't think you should live in the closet. I don't think you should hide anything about yourself. At the same time, I don't want you to label yourself as your sexuality, because you're more than that.
And I guess I would agree with you, but my first comparison would think of like Jackie Robinson, the first black pro baseball player. It broke ground. It initiated a changing in the mindsets of people. And so I think this is a similar way where he didn't go out of his way to say, hey, I'm gay and I'm going to be part of the draft. It came out that he was gay. And so they asked him about it, and he said yes. And they said, when did you tell your family and your players? This year, earlier this year, before the season started, I let them all know, and they were all okay with it because it was coming out. And so I think it may be a media thing more than anything else. I think he's not out there toting himself as the gay football player. He's out there saying he's going into the draft, and it's all the hype that's built up for that. Mm-hmm. And he is now saying, yes, I am gay, but he's not going out. I don't think he's gone out there. I haven't seen anything out there of him being interviewed saying, I'm pro-gay, and this is why I'm doing this now because the NFL is backwards and blah, blah, blah. It's more of maybe
and
the
you could
media.
Be right. You could be totally right that the media is the one hyping it up to the levels of, oh, God, could you just let the man be a man? Just let him be who he is.
Right.
I think probably the best story of this whole thing is that none of his teammates give a fuck.
Right.
Nobody cares. And he's a great football player. Yes, I do get it that you want to show young people out there that there's nothing to be afraid of. Come out of the closet, be who you want, be who you are. Live your life as who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. And you can be amazing. You can be whatever you want to be, but there is this fine line of breaking ground,
right,
and follow my route so that you can always and forever be labeled as there's the gay guy who's great at football, or there's the gay woman who is great at tennis.
Right.
How about no? Here's Jackie Robinson or whoever. Here's whatever their name is, and they were great. Look at their stats. Look what they did. Look at what they did in college. Look at what they did in the NFL. It's just amazing how they played. That's what I want to know people for what they've said and what they've done.
Right. And I think that's okay, but I think unfortunately, a lot of people don't think the way you do, and they do label people, and they do give people certain stereotypes. And so this is a way to break. I think this is what people think about the idea of somebody coming out and doing something like this. This is going to break stereotypes. This is going to change people's way. People thought, for whatever silly reason that, why would a football player ever be gay? They're around men all the time. They're big, strong, beefy dudes that sweat all over each other. There's never going to be a gay guy and you and I both think that's ridiculous. Yeah. And of course, I'm sure there have been plenty of gay football players in the NFL. We just never knew about it.
You know what I think changes stereotypes? When people are introduced to people outside of their bubble.
Yeah.
I was racist. At one point in my life, I had no influences in my life other than to be racist. And here's examples of why you should be racist. That's what I was influenced with.
Right. People taught you to be racist.
Right. As I was, and it wasn't like as blatant as, hey, here's a handbook on how to be racist.
Right.
It was just, this was in general how you lived your life, and this is who you talk to, this is who you don't. And it took me getting past some issues, and then a few years later, even adopting my own children to be like, oh, of course I wasn't racist before I adopted my children. But for me to truly feel and get it completely expunged from my system that it's stupid to be racist. It took me to have friends who were gay to think, this is so stupid to be homophobic.
Right.
And I have a friend who's extremely homophobic, but what is going to take him to be not homophobic?
Now, do you think
It's not going to take an NFL player coming out and saying, hey, I'm gay, and for my buddy to say, hey, he did a really good play on that play. No, it's going to take his son coming out, or for him to be side by side with a buddy for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden the buddy's like, hey, dude, I'm gay.
Well, you don't think that if more people start seeing things as more accepting, that could change it? Because think about marijuana use, or think about gay marriage issues.
I just think people, especially for this, I think people just need to have influences. They have to be in contact with people who...
What if this kid's an influence? What if somebody goes, oh, wait a second. God, that's stupid. I had the stereotypic thought that all NFL players are these big, brutish dudes that would never do that only like women. God, that's kind of... I don't think I ever thought that they could be gay. You know, I mean, somebody could change somebody's mind by seeing somebody come out.
Right.
I don't know.
You know what changed my mind about big brutish guys being gay?
What?
There was a guy that you worked with who was the stereotypical cowboy type of guy.
Oh, yeah.
And
he's a great guy, too.
Yeah, wonderful person.
Really great guy.
When I knew him. But when I met him, and then you told me, hey, man, he was probably checking you out. What? Yeah, he's gay. No way is he gay. Oh, yeah. I mean, they don't fall on... Nobody falls along stereotypes.
Well, and that's, again, I think that might be something that changes people's mind. I agree with you that if things get blown out of proportion and the media gets a hold of stuff and it can be bad. This is one of those things where you were like, this big, rough and tough cowboy can't be gay. Maybe it makes somebody else go, oh, shit, that's silly. Why did I ever think that if you're a football player and you're this big manly man, that you can't be gay as well? I ever tell you that what he said to me was a really nice compliment.
No, what?
He goes, so... You sure that you're not into guys? He asked me this one time at a bar with a bunch of people. And I go, no, I'm set. Thanks so much. I like vagina. Thanks. And he goes, boy, what did he say? He didn't say, he said, he was like not hitting on me, but he was like saying, if you were gay, I would totally date you, kind of compliments. And I was just like, hey buddy, if that floated my boat, I'd really appreciate, if that did it for me, I'd be all over you. But I'm good. Thank you so much. So,
but I don't really enjoy getting on a step stool just to kiss somebody, because you're a tall drink of water, motherfucker.
And I'm still one of those people that, and for whatever reason, and this is probably my upbringing, I see two men kissing. It's much different for me than seeing two women kissing. It's just a different. I am uncomfortable with one, just seeing it, and I'm comfortable with another, probably because I've seen too much porn, or not enough of one kind of porn and too much of another. I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't know.
I think it really comes down to. I think what it truly comes down to, especially for the people that get angry about it, really angry. One, I think there's a religious aspect to it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And
for sure.
Of self-hate, like, oh, I'm really religious. Oh my God, I can't be gay because God will hate me, type of a thing. I also think that there's a little sliver in almost every person that says to themselves, oh my God, am I gay? And that question. I know I've had dreams. I've had a dream. It's clearly gay.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up and I thought, oh my God. Wait a second. What am I going to jerk off to? Oh, the form of a beautiful woman. I mean, that's what gets me off.
Right.
So I think a lot of it has to do with the fear of you might be gay. So the fear of it makes people so angry.
Right. Which is, and that to me, that's part of the problem is it's fear that because we've made it so wrong to be that way.
Yeah.
You live your life fearing that. And so it doesn't allow somebody who maybe truly has an opportunity to be who they want to be, locked into a situation where society is saying, no, you can't be. Which I'll go back to Michael Sam again. I think that is one more thing. I don't think he's out there going, look at me, I'm a big, humongous, linebacker who's gay going to the NFL. I think he's came out to his teammates and his family and everything was fine. They didn't tell. I mean, that's how tight knit this group is. It never leaked. They've known the entire year and it never leaked out. And somehow, I don't know how it actually got out, to be honest. But they all cared about him enough that they're just like, it doesn't matter. You know, good, you're gay. All right, let's go play football for the entire year. And you're defensive player of the year in the SEC, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I just think that maybe it's just one more thing. It's just like, here you go. Here's another example of how the stereotypes we set up for ourselves are incorrect.
Right.
And it may take a lot of people longer because you and I, like you said, I remember being homophobic. You remember being homophobic. And now we just don't give a shit either way. But we had lots of people. We had the cowboy you talked about. We had a good friend of mine who was a personal trainer that was gay. And you're just like, oh, okay, it's not that big of a deal.
I had some dude in Israel.
Oh, that's right.
To buy me. That was actually my first gay encounter. That was my first encounter with somebody who I knew wanted my ass. Really, really was trying to get me drunk. And that was the first time that I was like, yeah, it doesn't bother me if you want to buy me beers, but it's not going to happen. You know, it's clearly
Well, he grabbed your ass too, didn't he?
No, he was stepping up behind me trying to dance, like grind behind me, and the girl that I was dancing with in Israel said, I think your friend likes you. I'm like, what? And I turned around and he was right there. Like,
and you were cool with it.
Yeah, but again, the previous experience, the previous situation, before that, I got physically sick. I reacted and angry, and it was such a harsh reaction that you went to your friend, my girlfriend at the time.
I just met you.
Who the fuck is this douche?
No, I didn't say you were a douche. I said first you can pick him, because why would you pick a guy that is so unaware of the world around him to realize that because somebody else was cross-dressing, there was something horribly wrong with them? What are you doing? Which goes to the fact of anybody can change. And anybody, because I mean, to think of you back then, a 19-year-old kid, having 19-year-old reactions living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, right?
Right.
Going to a Catholic school.
Sure.
To the person you are now, it's a pretty incredible full circle growth in my mind. I don't think you could imagine as a person growing like you have. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty awesome. And you've had plenty of people that I know via you that have said to me, I don't know who that dude is anymore. What do you mean? That's Matt. That's who he is. No, the guy I knew in high school was not that dude over there. And I'm like, well, this is better or worse? Oh, it's better. But man, that guy was a doozy in high school. You couldn't ask for a better compliment than that.
Yeah,
because you don't want to look back and be regretful and say, oh, I did all these terrible things. And people are like, this is where I'm coming. You know, this is where I'm going. This is all that matters is what's before me, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that it's a good thing to fuck up. You got to fuck up sometimes. You got to say the wrong thing sometimes. You got to do the wrong thing sometimes. You got to get caught in really weird situations at graduation parties to really be able to have some quiet time. And one of the great things about the military, when you're on those road marches and it's quiet and you cannot talk and you have all this time to reflect for 12 miles of walking, I think that reflection, there's very few things in this world that you detach from electronics, you detach from everything around you.
You unplug completely.
You completely unplug, and all you have is your thoughts and the sounds of nature around you. I mean, hunters get to get that feeling when they're out there in the wilderness just kind of waiting for the kill. But there's not a whole lot of people that really truly get that experience. And that when you get that, when you have that, you can reflect back on all the stupid shit that you've done and you're not proud of. So for Justin Bieber to have done what he did,
you're right.
That could be one of the best things for him, was to get his ass knocked down.
Right.
And 10 years from now, he might be a completely different dude. He might be George Michael-esque. He might be.
That's pushing it.
He might be a cool dude. He might grow up. He might grow up and be like, "Hey, man, it's all cool. Can I have a latte?"
Sure, I'll go with my shirt on, because I should have known better than walk in a fucking restaurant with my pants around my ass with no shirt on. Excuse me.
Yeah. Sure.
No, you're absolutely. That's a really good point, because maybe and hopefully he has the same kind of change. You would only hope,
and you're not going to see it right now.
No, but
you can only see that if you have quiet.
And think about it, I tell my kids all the time, this life is not about you doing everything right all the time. It's about you continuously fucking up and making mistakes, but learning from them. If you keep making them over and over again, I'm going to be pissed. but you have to make them and then change. Solve your problems, keep moving forward, keep stumbling, stand up, dust yourself off, see what you did wrong, go on a different path or make a different choice, and keep moving forward, because none of us have it figured out and are perfect in this long walk we have.
I'm going to change gears. This is going to be my segue.
Well, I'm Googling George Michael because I want to see if he's going to be around, because I still want to see him in concert. I fucking love George Michael.
I do too.
We were talking about gay.
And my wife, yeah, true. My wife can't stand 80s music.
Is that make you gay if I'm like George Michael?
Only if you actually ejaculate thinking
I don't. I've had lots of sex listening to his music growing up in high school, but I have not actually masturbated George Michael. So I guess I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Here's something from RT. Tens of thousands of Connecticut residents refuse to register guns under the new law in Connecticut.
So say that again?
Tens of thousands of Connecticut residents refuse to register guns under the new law. So a new law must have come in and said, if you have a certain type of gun, if you have high-capacity magazines, then you have to contact us and register those items, or otherwise it's an illegal thing for you to have.
Oh.
And this guy who wrote the article, I have no idea exactly how profoundly bad this is, because he even puts, no one has anything close to definitive figures, but the most common conservative estimates place the number of unregistered assault weapons, this is in Connecticut, well above 50,000, and perhaps as high as 350,000. That's a huge fucking margin.
That's awesome.
We're talking Connecticut. Is there 350,000 people in Connecticut? I don't even. Sure. And I know one person can own more than one assault rifle, or a high capacity magazine, but this is an example of a lot of people not wanting a law that their representative put into law.
Right. There's over 3.5 million people in Connecticut. FYI. Connecticut's, their downloads are going to tank.
So hey, 350,000. That's not big. That's a fraction. So what do you think about that?
I don't know, but I'm one of those guys. It makes me nervous.
Guns in general make you nervous. But what if somebody?
What makes me nervous is people. It's not people who are responsible with guns that make me nervous. That never is. I mean, you and Rock having guns bothers me none at all. Yeah, right. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just the people that shouldn't have them, and that's where I have a concern with, and that's why I think you need to have registry laws so that people who are buying guns, they know who they are and they know their mental status. I know people who are mentally off and they shouldn't have guns. I just feel that way. I know people who are not, and they're not even violent people at all. And if they had guns, I would feel very, very nervous about it. And it has nothing to do with, I don't know. That's a tough one for me because I don't want to, I think gun laws I am okay with. There's certain gun laws for registering and knowing who has guns.
Sure.
And it's, to me, what feeds into that is this, to me, stupid fear, of the government. Government coming to get our guns, and we're not going to register our guns because we don't want anybody to know who has them and stuff like that. It's the government's thing. I think that's bullshit. The populace of the United States wants to have more registration of guns so that we know who has them, so we have an idea of if the nutballs have them or not. I'm not going to be in fear of a responsible gun owner. I'm not. I'm in fear of an asshole who gets a gun who shouldn't have never got one in the first place. That's my fear.
Yeah.
I don't know how you balance that out, but
exactly. I mean, guns are a life-taking tool. That's all they are.
Right.
It's a life-taking tool. People can say, well, I enjoy skeet and I enjoy shooting targets.
Oh, shit, I like doing skeet and targets.
Right?
Yeah.
But you can also do that with a BB gun. The fact that you have a high-power assault rifle, what is defined as an assault rifle with a high-capacity magazine, it's not because you love to shoot targets, okay? You shoot targets so that you're proficient enough so that if the shit ever hit the fan, because somewhere in your psyche you believe somewhere along the lines the shit could hit the fan. And when I say that, I mean somebody could break into your home.
Right.
Somebody, another country could invade. Fucking Red Dawn.
Again, I mean, and I know that's just me. Those are the things that I think are ridiculous. That's one of the things. Go ahead.
You say it's ridiculous, but back in the 50s, there was a famous quote by a Japanese general that said, we would never, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember it exactly, we would never occupy the United States because behind every blade of grass is a person with a gun.
Right.
That is, if you don't think that other countries don't even consider that as a option.
I think you've made the point really clear that our military has far better weapons than we could probably ever imagine. And the idea that another country wouldn't invade us because our military wouldn't annihilate them, but because of the people who are armed in this country, I think that's like the most ridiculous thing ever.
I think back then was a much greater example of why you wouldn't want to invade the United States.
Right. And I'm thinking about buying a rifle because I've had some people ask me if I want to go skeet shooting. And I thought, okay, well, to me, it's twofold. To be honest, one is I wanted to do it for shooting ski, but also because I thought, okay, it can be used for home protection. I can use it that way if need be. But again, I just think it's such a fine line, and I know people think that the way I think about it means I'm going to be, violating somebody's civil liberties and things like that. But I know that I have to feel safe. It's not just about everybody else; it's about me too and how I feel in my society. And so I'm not trying to take away anybody's rights, but I have to feel safe and feel like I know my kids are going to feel safe, because there are tons of irresponsible gun owners. Think of all the kids who have died from handgun, accidental stuff, that nobody's trying to be an asshole, but it just happens. It happens all the time.
Right.
And so I've talked with my kids, as I'm sure you have, it says, if you're in a house with somebody and you see a handgun, you don't question anything. You turn around, you fucking walk out.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
But I have to be the one to keep my kids informed, because there's so many fucking irresponsible gun owners. It's not all of them, and it's not a majority of them. I think it's a small percentage of them. But if it's a child's life, it's not. That's 1% too much in my mind.
Yeah, I try to take all the sexiness out of, all the wonder out of, oh, someone's got a gun, I wonder what it looks like, from my kids' eyes. I mean, when I've had my guns out, when I've cleaned them, or when I've moved them, and my kid said, hey, Dad, is that what's in their bag? I'm like, oh, that's my gun. Can I see it? Sure, because it's completely safe. I'm right there. I'll show it to them. And then they know it's locked. There's a trigger lock on it. It's in a locked case. To go through all of the safety procedures to get it to fire, there's just no way that my kids are going to be able to do it. They physically cannot get that thing to fire. They don't know the mechanics of it, but they've seen it. It's not sexy anymore. It's not like a big wondrous mystery. What's in the bag? What's it look like? I wonder what my dad has.
Right.
It's just, it's there. Oh yeah, my dad's got a gun. So that way also, when their friends say, hey, my dad's got a gun, you want to see it? There's not this, ooh, I've never seen a gun before. Sure, let me see it. No, that's okay. My dad has guns. And
that's a good idea.
We're not supposed to be here if you get them out.
There you go.
So it's just all the excitement's kind of gone. Now, since we're talking about guns, there's a story in the media that's going on right now about the 4 black teens in Florida who were shot at. Did you hear about this?
Mm-mm.
You didn't hear about this.
Were they an SUV?
I'm not sure what kind of vehicle they were in.
I've heard something, but I don't.
A quick synopsis.
Fill me in.
A quick synopsis of the situation is a man and either his wife or his girlfriend. Not sure. You can look this all up on CNN. You could on CNN. Did the
trial start?
I don't know if the trial started, but you could watch the interrogation of the white man who did the shooting. Okay. So this is the story according to him. According to the person who shot the handgun. I believe it was a handgun. Yeah. He said he had just left a wedding reception. It was either him and his wife. It was him and a woman were in a car. They pull into a gas station for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. The woman goes into the gas station. He's still in his car. A car with 4 black teenagers pulls up and the music is loud, according to him. So he asks them, "Can you turn your music down, please?" Of course, when he's saying this to the officer, it's going to sound the best way possible.
Sure.
They turn it down. So he says, "Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that," according to him. Now, he rolls his window back up, and then he hears what he reports as, "What did that fucker say? I'm going to kill that bitch." And the music goes way back up, and he looks over and goes, "Are you talking to me? Are you saying this? I'm going to kill that bitch? Are you saying that about me?" He says his reenactment of it is he thought he saw a teen grab a shotgun and he saw the barrel of it come up by the window. That's what he thought he saw. And so he dove for the handgun in the glove compartment of his car and turns to the side and shoots 4 times into the car of 4 black teens.
Okay.
The car then throws it in reverse, is getting out of there. He gets out of his car and fires 4 more shots at the car. Now, this is where the tale gets really fucking weird. The lady comes out of the gas station, gets in the car. They drive off. They go to the bed and breakfast that they booked.
Right.
They order pizza, and they go to bed. Next day...
It seems a little off.
Yeah. The next day, he says he saw the report that a black teen was shot and killed. He calls his cop buddy and says, "What should I do?" Cop buddy says, "Turn yourself in." So he does, and then the investigation starts. The police officer in the interrogation tape said, "As of this moment, we have yet to find any type of weapon." Because those teenagers made a loop, saw that you left, came back to the gas station. And we have yet to find anything that would show that they
you had a
weapon.
tragedy in this neighborhood with the guy who shot his wife and her mother and her boyfriend.
It was his wife and his mother-in-law.
Okay. And I would assume that he was a responsible gun owner as well.
I tell you what, up until that moment, I liked the guy. I drank with that guy. His kids were amazing. His wife is amazing. I never would have thought
that he could snap
that would have happened. From what I saw of him, I never would have thought that would have happened. It goes to show you that anyone can truly, if you're pushed to a certain limit, anybody can make a mistake. And once you make that mistake, how hard is it as a person to say, "I've crossed the line. Can I go back?"
Right.
Nope.
Well, you certainly can't when you shoot somebody.
And that's why it's as heated of a debate as what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a finality that you cannot redo.
Yeah.
And we can continue that discussion on a later episode of the Primal Scream. But right now, we have with us tonight Nick Rossin.
Hi.
Back
He's
again.
back. Oh, wonderful. Now, you're back primarily not just to hang with us, which makes me sad.
But partly.
But partly, because you enjoyed yourself last time.
I did, very much.
But secondly, probably most important, is that you have a new gym, correct?
We do. It's in the process. It's coming up real quick right around the corner.
I want to know all about it. I want to know about opening day. I want to know about any promotions that are going on. Are you going to have any CrossFit ladies demonstrating anything to bring in people? Did you want us? I will go there. If it's like a grand opening on a Saturday, maybe we should set up shop and we'll do a live podcast while I'm just
looking at exercise.
I just want to educate myself on the proper form.
Hey, I got you.
There's nothing bad with that.
And some of the women have incredible form, so you're good to go.
I went to one. I know this, but I'm sure there's more since I've been
more.
there.
Well, I read today that the women make up the majority of CrossFitters nationwide.
I would say that holds true.
Why do you think so?
I think empowerment a little bit. I mean, you look at look at typically how women have worked out or their typical roles in the past, and CrossFit gives them something to do, a goal, a focus, a drive, and they can be very, very good at it. I mean, they become very strong, capable women.
Now,
Yeah, they're badasses.
Yeah.
Todd has said this in the past, especially when I think it was the last podcast even maybe that you said, the upcoming CrossFit Games, that you guys are going to actually look at their competition, what they're doing, and then you can do those workouts in the gym. So it gives you this closeness to these professional athletes
Absolutely.
that you don't get in NFL.
You don't get anywhere except here.
Do you think that's kind of a similar thing with the women in CrossFit? That, I mean, these ladies that are going all the time, if I were to show up, I'd be like, yeah, I'm strong. What's happening? And then they knock out however many muscle ups, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? I probably couldn't do one. Holy shit, look what you're capable of doing. Do you think that has a lot of the drive for women to do CrossFit? Because once you are learning the proper technique and the strength that they get, and the great bodies is a side effect, but the strength and the confidence and a little bit of that, look what I can do. You and I are going to do the exact same movements, and I'm kicking your ass. Do you think that's a little bit of what goes on in the
daily? Daily. I don't think they do it in a negative or mean way. Like I said, it's just
But it's like a confidence thing for them.
Absolutely. Why not give it to them? I mean, anybody that can come in there and do the movements, RX and prescribed, like, hats off to them. They're working hard for it. They deserve every bit of credit. Male or female, anybody.
I think anybody who can be consistent with anything, just the consistency alone is amazing to me. Whether you're a marathon runner, whether you're trying to check your diet, and eat the proper things, and to be in CrossFit and compete and do the RX challenge like what you did. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and almost all of them are saying, here's the pyramid that you want to look at for CrossFit, and the foundation is nutrition. That type of determination and consistency, I can't even find in myself. I say to myself, yeah, I want to do that. I think the idea of it is awesome. I'd love to do that. But the people that actually show up day in and day out, week after week with you, I mean, that's got to be kind of a...
I think they've accepted the fact that this is not a quick fix. This is not a 12-week, and I'm not knocking any of the 12-week programs or whatever. I mean, they work well for some people. But this, CrossFit's not it. This is a dedication to the task, and they can just continue to push and push and push and just stay there until they master something. And then guess what? You've got, 900 other things you can come to master. So they just keep grinding. They're always just looking for more.
I'm trying to read more, and I wanted your opinion about this, Nick, about CrossFit being an exercise program instead of a training program, because they're saying that to be a training program, you would be needing to do something specific to be training. So, like, if I'm going to be a marathon runner, I'm going to run a lot. If I'm going to be a wrestler, I'm going to be on the mat a lot. I'm going to do something really specifically trained for that. What are your thoughts about CrossFit as a training tool over just an exercise program?
I think they're getting too crazy with it. Like, look at what we're doing. Look at what the top athletes are doing. They're training to be CrossFit athletes. It's the same thing. Are they becoming, what was the other one you were talking about?
Like I said, wrestling.
Oh, fitness or whatever, exercise program. Gotcha. It's the same thing. I don't think you can separate the two. I mean, unless you're getting, a specific sport, sure, but they still go outside and do other type of, exercises or training models. I mean, their programming is not just
And it is
wrestling,
functional
you know.
exercise.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I think that's one thing that when I read some of these things that are kind of like back and forth about training programs or exercise programs, I'm like, people who are going to be marathon runners have a program that they're going to run. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, they
I think
want
of
to
it.
do that.
I guess I think of it as an exercise program, but I know that I'm more capable of doing more things because of doing CrossFit.
You know,
So I mean, I guess that's where I see the difference. I guess people are going to do what they're going to do for whatever sport they're going to play.
I think that our members go in and train. That's the way I look at it. They come in and they train. And a byproduct of that is, yeah, we're exercising, but we are training.
You know, when I think of CrossFit, I think it likens to me more to MMA. I think the doubters of CrossFit are the same people, or the same like-minded type people that are saying, hey, karate is the only way to go. Jiu-jitsu is the only way to go. Kickboxing is the only way to go. That's the pure thing. If you're going to train it, train only this. I think that type of mentality is what these people have when they want to doubt on CrossFit. Because
Dude, everybody wants to hate CrossFit.
Because CrossFit
it's
is
crazy.
so, like the games. Like, who would have thought the games last time would have consisted of jumping in a pool and then doing muscle ups? Do you train that? No. Do you have that in your gym? No, I don't have a pool in my gym. Well, there's no way to do that. So you get creative, and you throw in all these different types of exercises so that your body's so well-rounded. You can pick things up. You can move things around. You can move your body. You're athletic. You're almost gymnastic-y.
I use that word all the time.
Gymnastic.
It's real world. It's
All
okay.
right.
Yeah. Well, I
It
mean,
should
the
be added.
founder, Glassman, was a gymnast. That's why he started it. He was a gymnast.
So when I think of MMA and I think of CrossFit, I think of them together. Like, you're using all these different types of movements, all these different types of disciplines, all these different types of forms, all these different types of techniques. I mean, you have rowing and you have deadlifting. Together. And I don't know if you get any more polar opposite besides I'm just going to row and I'm going to deadlift, or I'm going to do a muscle up. That's completely different than rowing in my mind.
Or doing heavy lifting exercises and then having to go run. So you've been using your muscles for two different things.
Yeah, you're using two different energy systems. Like, you know, you're trying to train your body to be able to switch back and forth efficiently, and to be able to maintain, you know, a good power output lifting, and then have good muscular endurance and cardiovascular endurance to run.
I also heard a thing too today about, I read today that somebody was talking about the injuries with CrossFit and how there's injuries in every sport kind of thing. And then I heard a guy saying that you need to take responsibility for your injuries in CrossFit. If you're not capable of doing something yet, you should know that, and you should be at a gym with a trainer who's not going to allow you to have that happen.
Funny. Take responsibility. That's funny.
Yeah. That was the main thing. Was
But
just
it's
like,
absolutely true.
you know what you can do and can't do. And I know I've been to the gym where I see somebody stopping a lot and catching their breath because they're new and they're still adjusting. You know, they're not pushing they're pushing themselves as much as they can push themselves. You know, that you have to take responsibility for what you know you can do and can't do. I mean, I think that's a really big thing. I mean, you can't blame. I mean, that way. I mean, every time I pull a hammy when I'm out jogging because I haven't done it for a while. You know, it's me. I haven't trained enough.
Yell at your shoes like,
Yeah, exactly.
fucking let me run too far.
Goddamn Nikes.
Yeah.
Pulled my hemi.
Yeah, exactly.
Hammy?
So I just,
Hemi?
the more I read about it, and you're right, a lot of people hate on CrossFit. The more I read about it, the more it just sounds like people being kind of, you know, taking CrossFit and trying to say it's elitist. And then the next argument is, oh, it's a bunch, you know.
Dude, look at, you know, and this is not saying that we don't have anybody at the elite level, you know, at our gym, but look at 90% of our members. You know, they're good, hardworking, average people that come in and bust their ass every day. I mean, they feel good about themselves. They're happy. They're living good lives. They're healthy. They're strong. They're proud of what they do. You know, we're not saying we're elite. They're just fucking happy, man. You know?
Yeah, and anybody can join. I mean, I just don't. That's the thing. Is I don't see it.
We don't discriminate anybody. Young, old, whatever, man. Come on in. We'll train you.
Yeah.
Don't need to have a wrestling background. Don't need
No
to.
cauliflower ears needed.
No.
Now,
If you walk in with a singlet, though,
well, I was just
it'll
going to
be
ask
all
you,
right.
what if my wife walks in with like really, really short shorts and really, really tall socks? Is she in?
she's already
Right away.
right away.
It's a lock.
Okay, what the fuck is up with that?
With the outfits?
Yeah, what's up? Okay, I understand the socks because you're doing the deadlifts. You don't want to scrape the skin off your shins. That's
Box jumps.
That's the biggest thing, right? With the socks is you don't want to scrape up your shins. That's what's up. That's what's up with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's comfort
The super short shorts.
because there's.
I wear super short shorts.
I'm in.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see runners, they wear spandex and jogging bras, and they go running. It's just comfort.
I'm not hating on any of this.
I'm not thinking you were. I'm just saying I think it's just comfort.
I enjoy watching the ladies do
Great.
CrossFit with the short shorts. I'm just wondering.
You're gonna win people over like crazy.
I'm just gonna be me, Todd.
Never mind.
That's just me. Okay. I'm just wondering. Besides the fact that I like it, what is the practical application to that type of outfit? Because a lot of major athletes that are doing whatever. I used to do some powerlifting. So the guys that did powerlifting with me had powerlifting shirts, they had the belts, they had the knee wraps. I'm just wondering, is there something to the outfits that they wear besides the tall socks? I can see that.
Range of motion, just getting excess material out of the way. If we're performing movements or Olympic movements around a barbell, just range of motion.
I can
just,
totally wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
Like a bicyclist.
Sure.
You're not wanting flappy, crazy
You got to keep it tight, man.
board shorts on when you're doing a 50, 100 mile
No,
bike ride.
and they work hard for their bodies, and they're proud to be able to wear
Should be
short
proud.
shorts.
They should be proud to wear those shorts.
I'm not mad about it.
It's okay.
I didn't say shit.
These ladies are going
I
to
didn't
listen
say
to this and they're
anything.
going to say, God damn right,
I'm a guy. I'm aware of what they wear every other day when I'm in there. I'm just saying that. I just think it's funny that that's the one thing you're really focusing on.
I'm really focusing on it because they look great.
They do, but they look great because
I've had very limited exposure to CrossFit. It's what I've seen on YouTube and my one time in your gym. So one time, and
I will say
it was a lasting impression.
function.
There you
Function.
go.
Yep.
Good word.
Well, ladies, keep up the function. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Where's the new gym gonna be at?
It is going to be located in Hiawatha. It's going to be right off of Boyson. Basically intersection of Centerpoint Road in Boyson and Hiawatha. The address is actually 1100 Industrial Avenue.
Okay.
You take your first left off of Boyson, coming right off the Centerpoint, and it is second building there. Big, huge garage building. Got about probably six front garage doors right in front. You'll be able to notice it.
Are you just almost erect, thinking of the difference between the place you have now and the place you're going to go is enormously different, isn't it?
Yes, it's huge.
And with that extra space, are you bringing in a lot of extra equipment? I mean, you're going to have what you had already.
Yep.
When I walked into the place that you're at right now, I thought, whoa, you're going to fit how many people into this workout facility for the next hour? They're going to be doing what? They're going to be doing Olympic lifts, and there's a lot of movement, and there's a lot of weight, and there's bars, and you got the rowing, and you got the what is that? What's that?
GHDs?
Is that where you're doing the back extension?
Or back extension, yeah. GHDs.
Okay.
Yep.
There's all those pieces of equipment, all those movements, that takes up a lot of space. So for the fact that you guys were able to do that in such the space that you had, which I won't say was small because it was just packed, it had a lot of people that wanted to be there. The fact that you were able to do all that, I thought was amazing.
And do you think is it mostly economics? I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, you have a certain gym because that's what you have to start out with. You only have so much money, and
Yep. It's just like anything else you do. I equate it to first time homeowners. You're able to get your starter home, and you love it, but you're not ever going to be satisfied with it. and you just, you keep working to be able to get to that bigger home,
With this new place, are you thinking about all the sick, demented type of workouts
Dude,
that you're going to be able to?
There's going to be
Because
so much.
when I think of you, I think of almost of this guy who has this giddy, gleeful little inner devil that's like, oh, wait till you see the workout that I have for you tomorrow. You're gonna love it when you're done with it. You're gonna be like, I'm so proud of myself that I'm done with it.
There's gonna be so much fitness going on in that place. It's gonna be awesome.
And I've looked in the window, and there's been some things posted on it, and it's 6,500 square feet.
Yep, about 65.
I mean, it's got to be quadruple what you have now, right?
Yep.
And there's going to be things that you're going to be able to do in this new one that you weren't able to do in the old one.
Correct. We're going to have some turf on the inside. We're going to be able to push sleds, drag sleds on the inside, which we have not been able to do. We do it outside during the summer, but, wintertime, has its own issues. We're going to have nice and tall ropes, 20-foot ropes we're going to be able to use. We'll be able to carry stones, flip stones, all that stuff we'll be able to do on the inside. And then we'll be able to do some sprinting and stuff on the inside as well. So
I can see that being such a huge attraction for people that want to stay busy, especially with this latest winter that we're in currently. Sucks so bad. You just want to be outside and do something, but you can't because it's so fucking cold. And to have that space in your gym to be able to do the sleds and to do the rope, I wouldn't want to leave.
Well, it's just going to add another layer to people's skills and their abilities. We just haven't been able to add in some of that stuff that we want to, and now that we're going to have the ability and the access to do that, I mean, that's just going to add another layer of depth to these athletes. It's just going to be another tool that they're going to be able to pull out. It's just going to sharpen them that much more.
Are you guys ever thinking about... Now, you took me, Todd, to a competition that was in the area. Are you guys ever going to host a competition because now you have more space?
Yes, absolutely we will.
Do you have anything like concrete that you're shooting for?
My next competition before the Battle of the 5 Seasons, which is our big one that we're going to hold annually, I'm going to have a 2-day lifting competition held at our new facility. The first day, and people can do either. They can do both if they want, or just singles. The first day is going to be Olympic weightlifting, so traditional snatch, clean, and jerk. It's not going to be held under USAW rules. So it's going to be a little bit more lenient. People aren't going to have to wear singlets or anything like that. It's going to be age group based. We might have some weight classes, but I'm thinking more kind of age group, just to help bring in everybody and keep the intimidation factor down a little bit.
Yeah.
And just let everybody come in there and lift and see what they can do.
It'll be a great way to introduce your gym.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
And then on that second day, I'd like to have almost like a powerlifting competition where, squat, bench, deadlift, even strict press. Because I think there's a population of powerlifters in this area that, we could draw from and eventually, hopefully, even learn from.
Yeah, I know when I did powerlifting back in 2001, it didn't feel like there was a lot of different... I wasn't aware of the different areas in this around Cedar Rapids, Iowa City that you could go to that gave you that feel. I mean, the Anvil is a gym that has that powerlifting type feel.
Yeah, I've heard
dungeon-esque.
Yep, nothing but good things coming out of that place.
Yeah,
right. The place I did worked out at was Gold's Gym in Coralville. They had a basement, and you could go down there. If you went into the basement, you basically were saying, it's okay for me to hear other people grunt, scream, cry out, turn the radio or the stereo up to blaring. I just didn't know of a lot of different places like that. So do you think that CrossFit, that your gym would ever get into allowing another type of anvil type of gym. If people want to do CrossFit, if people want to also learn just Olympic or powerlifting.
Yes, absolutely. With additional space comes additional opportunities to go outside of just what I'll say is traditional CrossFit. Because I think there is a population, like I said, that want to do powerlifting. There's a population that want to just Olympic lift. So, if we have the space, we have the availability, we have the equipment, why not?
For a second there, I thought you were going to say with more power comes more responsibility. I thought you were going to go straight Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
Nice. Okay.
Thanks, Todd. How did you know where I was going with this? Did you know that?
Because you said more responsibility.
Okay.
We've seen the movie. Like, we have children. We've seen the movie 1,000 fucking times.
I wouldn't even need children.
Hey, Nick, do you ever find that? I mean, do you think the new gym is going to allow you to do more things and increase more fitness? Do you ever bump into the post-novice kind of issue where people have been with you or a gym for a certain amount of time and have, I guess you can't ever really hit a peak with CrossFit. You can always push yourself harder or push further. But do you ever get to the point where people are like, I feel like I've done everything? And then what would you suggest for people like that? I'm not there yet, by the way.
Man, that's a good question. I think everybody hits peaks. They hit plateaus. It's just all how you want to handle it, I think. Whether you let it get to you or whether you're really committed to, I guess, seeing everything that you think you can get through. I mean, I don't think anybody has really got done and said, you know what, I've done absolutely everything that I wanted to do yet. I don't think so.
As you as a CrossFitter, you haven't hit that yet?
No way.
Do you think that's when I think of I can't even say as a novice, as a person who watches,
toe in the water? You did a little bit this summer.
Dabbled.
I dabbled a bit.
Dabbled, good word.
As somebody who watches with great admiration people that do CrossFit, I think of that. That's one of the things. It's like the one of the best things about CrossFit is that if you just went in and you hit the gym and you run, I'm running on a treadmill. I've done this. You go for if you're training marathons, you go and you run. I got a different run routine. It's the same. I'm fucking running. I'm running, which isn't. I'm not saying it's bad.
No,
I'm just saying it gets boring.
Damn.
But with CrossFit, it seems like, and again, this is from a spectator, that it seems like it changes, even if it's a tiny little change, even if it's the difference between you're going to do this workout first, if we're flip-flopping the workout, or you're changing the movements a little bit, it keeps your body guessing, and it'd be much harder for your body to plateau, much harder for you to say, I'm fucking bored.
Yeah, if you want it, there's always a challenge. There's always something to grow. There's always something to learn. There's always something to be better at if you want it. It's there.
And have you ever thought about have you ever done like the regionals for CrossFit Games? Have you ever tried to be an individual in the games at all?
No, I have not.
You haven't?
Nope.
Has there ever been an inspiration for something you wanted to do? Or
yeah, I mean, as I get deeper into this and spend more time doing CrossFit, I would like that. Not necessarily just for myself, but I just know what that can bring for the gym.
Sure.
I try not to be too selfish about it. Would it be cool to have a little bit of fame, but really, what's it going to do for the gym and for the members? So I guess that's what we train for. What I'd like to get better at is to hopefully build a team and get a team to regionals. Just to get our name out there. Say, hey, yeah, we're from Cedar Rapids and we're here to fucking work, man.
I think that'd be. I know I'd latch onto that like crazy.
Who is it? Who's the owners? Ari? Is it Ari? Who am I thinking of?
Armin.
Yeah. I apologize, Armin.
Who are the actual owners? You're one of them, aren't you?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. It's myself, Ian Wass, Charlie Donahue, and Armin McCormick.
Now, who out of all those people,
All three
and
of them.
I'm probably messing this up. Todd, who did you say competes in the games?
All three.
All three of them do.
Oh,
With 3 women from that same gym, and they all go. They do the team CrossFit games.
all right. I'm getting it now. I'm trying drawing a better picture in my head. Okay.
And this year they had the thing called the worm. Did you see that?
No.
If anybody's listening to this, Google
fucking
the
gross,
worm. It's pieces.
The worm.
they're
That's the name of the
huge-
workout?
This is the name of the thing
a
they had to do.
Piece of equipment.
And
Okay.
it was huge logs that were tied together with a rope, all connected. Like, so you take a tree and you cut it into
Sure.
chunks.
Like log drills.
Yeah.
But they're all tied together, so they have to. I can't remember if it was squats or they had to put it over their shoulder. They had to do all these things, but they had to all work together. And each little individual log weighed a little bit different, so they had to figure out who fit where and how it would work.
It was legit.
Oh my gosh. I was watching that going, this is one reason why I like the CrossFit games. I was going to go back really quick and say, one of the reasons when Nick was saying about powerlifting and Olympic lifting and having those opportunities, I'll be 45 quick. And so I get just enough of the powerlifting. I get just enough of the Olympic lifting. I get great cardio and I get more movements that, plyometric kind of movements that I enjoy, that I feel that as I get older are going to be beneficial to me. And I don't have any drive anymore to be part of those, to be a power lifter. It just doesn't turn me on. But I'm telling you, I'm excited to find out see what they come up with. Not just watching the games, but what kind of wads they come up with for these next CrossFit
You gotta
games.
be fucking kidding me. I'm watching the worm right now. You guys keep talking. I'm going to be...
Engrossed.
What the fuck? It's impressive. You got ladies, you got guys.
Yeah.
You're jumping over. You got burpees. Which, by the way, anytime that I pull up a video or I think of a basic movement to raise your heart rate, burpees.
Yeah, it'll do it.
Right there.
Every
And
time.
nobody... I remember watching videos of like old guys, like British dudes. It was like Tarzan. Was it Tarzan? I'm trying to think of the movie. But there was this old British dude that was like doing these really weird movements, and it was a burpee. And I thought, this is so
hell's he
fucking
doing?
strange. So fucking weird.
The first time I started doing burpees years ago, but I did it with a push-up. So I did a push-up and then jumped up, and then did a full push-up. And he was the one going, What are you doing? Just
fall
drop
down, man.
drop down, drop your stomach to the ground, get back up again. I was like, oh, good. These fucking push-ups are killing me.
It's a lot of work, man.
All right. So
fall
when
down.
You know what? Burpees, as horrible as they are, I'm with you. You can't get a better cardiovascular
well, it's one of the
wipe
most
you out.
natural movements when I get up. Well, I shouldn't say when I get out of bed, but when I'm on the ground and I stand up, you're doing basically a burpee. I like that it's natural movements that you're doing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it takes your body through a complete full range of motion from top to bottom. And I'm going to go out on a limb. It's basically everybody can do a burpee. You're never going to physically fail at doing a burpee.
All right.
You're not
I might
gonna
have
fail.
to check you on this one. If you fail, it means your face has hit the ground.
And you cannot get back up.
Okay.
I've never seen that happen, and I know of people at the gym we go to that they're major CrossFitters, and they've got the bodies of CrossFitters, and they're really great athletes, and their burpees are the slowest thing I've ever seen in my life, but they're just methodical. They never stop. I'll go and have to catch my breath and go have to catch my breath. They never ever stop, but they probably do one burpee for 2 of mine. But in the long run, they're better off than I am, but they never ever stop and they never fail doing it.
A lot like jiu-jitsu, do you think that CrossFit is one of those things that you learn your body and what it's capable of, how many reps you can do of something, like what Todd has told me in the past? Hey, we're going to do 100 pull-ups today. Hey, you're fucking crazy. No, we're not. How about that? How about I'm going to go back inside and you do 100 fucking pull-ups? Because that ain't going to happen with me. And he goes, just get up there and do one. And then when you can't do any anymore, we'll run, you'll do your other thing, and then you're going to come back and if you can only do one, do one.
Yeah.
Well, that CrossFit competition I was at
And
recently
I got
was horrible.
almost fucking 90. I got like 96.
Yeah.
which
What happened
I
to the
never
other
would've-
4?
You couldn't do 4
Thanks,
more
you know what?
goddamn
Couldn't do
pull-ups.
4, bro.
that's the
did
mark of a
96.
true trainer. What about the other 4? Instead of, hey man, great job on the 96.
There was a guy at the CrossFit competition who was at the end of his pull-ups and he was wiped out, and he was a pretty big stout dude, and he was jumping up, grabbing the bar and pulling himself up and dropping off, and then jumping up, grabbing it, and he was an RX competition, and he was just at the end, and so he had to drop off and jump up and pull himself up at the same time. So I mean, I think again, this goes back to the whole idea of CrossFit. You don't do it unless you know you can do it. You know what I mean? And
You don't compete unless you know you can do it.
Or do the movements, or have a trainer to tell you to do movements that you can't do yet. I think that's one of the things that I get upset with about CrossFit haters, is that if you have the right trainer, they're not going to allow you to do things that you can't do.
Well, that's the one thing that you have.
And they're going to teach you the right way.
That's the benefit that you have at CrossFit that you don't have when you just go into a gym.
No.
Because I've been at a gym, and I'm not saying I know how to do everything perfectly, by no means. But I've been around weights, and I've been around people who've worked out with weights since I was 13 years old.
You know what's
maybe
jacked
12.
up and
Yeah, so if I were to see some little kid come in, a teenager, and he's throwing his back out and he's really trying to wrestle this weight around trying to do a bicep curl, I would walk over and say, hey dude, I know it doesn't look like you have anybody helping you out. You might want to go down and weight, and you might want to do this. Nobody has that unless somebody steps forward and does it. But
Right.
when you go into CrossFit, you have some evil genius walking around going, hey, now go down. We talked about this. All the way down. Get your ass down. What aren't you getting when I say this?
Well, and he's done for me, I think it was probably my first month there. Hey, we're doing this movement. You probably want to drop your weight quite a bit. You want to take those weights off. And I was like, oh, I just did not realize what I was doing.
Just didn't know.
And then I had a friend of mine who actually works with Shannon Weber, she's still a trainer?
She is not. She's got a full-time job, but she is still a member of the gym. Yep.
So she works with Shannon, and I knew her from a job a long time ago. She's at a CrossFit gym, and she did this post on Facebook of being really sad at this CrossFit gym, seeing this woman who she knew was brand new, was all by herself in a corner, was standing there while everybody else was doing the movements and doing the WOD, and she was just sitting there clueless, nobody helping her, and she's like, and this gal used to be a trainer, like a personal trainer at a gym in Iowa City when she was in college. She's like, all I want to do is go over and talk to her and help her out so she didn't feel so alone. And I right away got on there and said, that wouldn't happen in our gym. You're not going to be left alone. You don't feel, you feel awkward anyways because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but nobody's going to let you be off by yourself and not help you and bring you into the fold because they want you to be better.
Yeah.
And so I told her, you need to come to our gym. And she ended up working with, she works with Shannon, so she talked to Shannon about it, and I think I might bring her Saturday.
I'm going to correct you. I'm going to correct you about something, which in this
You love doing it, so
in
go
these
ahead.
in this regard, in this arena, I really have hardly nothing to correct you about because I have fucking no clue, and I haven't worked out CrossFit. But what I have heard you say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
But when a brand new person comes in to CrossFit 2.2, you have to go through a beginner class, and you guys show people how to do basic moves.
Yes.
And how many times do people do that before they actually attend their first, hey, we're going to go balls out?
We do 3 foundations classes prior to them actually even getting into the beginner's class.
So you're going to know whether or not you need more practice with just beginner technique before you go into a class to stand in the corner and feel...
Nobody stands in the corner.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And that was my whole point of it. I'm sure this gal went through I'm assuming she went through a class as well. But then but because you went through the class doesn't mean you're just like left to go on your own. Do you know what I mean? That's why it sounded like working out at a gym that you would just have a membership to.
I'm going to take your money here. Good luck.
Yeah, here I'll show you some things, and then you're on your own.
Yeah, we don't do that whatsoever.
I don't know, and that doesn't, to me, that's not the epitome of CrossFit. The idea of CrossFit is half of it's the community. People talk about it all the time. It's the community of CrossFit.
The camaraderie.
So that doesn't sound like a community.
Because you suffer together.
Exactly.
You suffer together and you get through it and you've accomplished something. But that camaraderie, Nick, you know, it doesn't happen unless you're going through the suck.
It's true.
You have to go through something that sucks. Yeah. And my old first sergeant said, we're going to go on a mission this weekend, and you're going to be gone for a week or so. This is going to suck more than you've known, more than anything you've done so far. But this is going to make the best stories. It's the suck that brings people together and creates that bond, that camaraderie, and a really close-knit family that you're like, yeah, oh, we're going to do something sucky. But I got my family here to get me through it. And you don't get that when you just go to a gym.
No,
and you don't get that when you're just doing even powerlifters have that to an extent. When I went to a powerlifting competition and everybody's rooting for you, even your competitors, the people you're competing against, is rooting for you to get your personal best, just do your personal best. Not to beat them, but just do your personal best. It was my first time that I was like, I'm really surrounded by kind of a family, a really close-knit, weird group. I've never had that before in a sporting competition. And since then, I think CrossFit is the first thing that I've seen. Even when I think of MMA or jiu-jitsu or anything like that, I don't think of that same type of camaraderie of, I want to see you do your personal best. Like I saw in powerlifting.
A big support system. I mean, it honestly goes outside of just training. You know, it really does.
What do you think? It's because it's all aspects. It's the health.
All of it.
I mean, it's not just one dimensional.
I guarantee you know, any member would call and say, hey, I need a hand. You would get every single member in there willing to help. Just simply move the fucking couch, whatever.
Now, do you guys do nutritional stuff too?
Yeah, we do.
What does that all entail?
Basically, we're in a nutritional challenge right now, getting ready for the opens. Basically, just trying to help people get a hold of, or become knowledgeable and accountable for what they're putting in their mouths. You know, how you perform directly relates to how well you eat.
You are what you eat.
Yep.
Because I'm a fucking wreck, Nick. I've always eaten shitty. My parents ate shitty. They hardly ever prepared food.
Right.
If they did, it was steak, hamburgers, hot dogs, lasagna, or hamburger helper. I mean, that was it. Okay, maybe spaghetti and cereal in the morning. So I've always eaten shitty, and it's only been since maybe I turned 35 that my athleticism has gone downhill. I haven't pushed myself.
True.
And my eating habits have stayed the same. Mm-hmm. So my weight. So if you were to take a wreck like Matt, if Matt walked into your gym and said, "Hey man, I'm a fucking wreck. I don't know how to feed myself. I don't know what proportion. I don't know what portion sizes I should be eating. I don't know how much I should be eating. I don't know what I should be eating. I don't know how to prepare what I should be eating."
Right.
Where do you go with this? Where do you go with this wreck that we'll call Matt?
No bullshit. The first thing I'm going to tell you is do CrossFit. Just get in a habit of exercising. Don't even worry about what you're eating. Mm-hmm. Just build one habit first, and that's just come to class.
Because you're working on habit building.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Just come to class. And then from there, once you build that habit, once you're in a routine, you're good to go. Then we start taking a look at what one small thing can I change at a time. Because if I turn your whole fucking world upside down, you're going to be lost.
And I'm going to quit.
Yep. And you're going to be like, well, that cheeseburger, although it is tasty looking, I'm going to eat it, because they are tasty.
Right.
I'm going to eat it.
Because I've talked to Todd about his sex addiction, and we can't just change everything overnight. It's one small thing at a time.
Once I was introduced to the fleshlight, it was just no turning back. Jesus. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Just
A fleshlight?
Just wash it out, please.
See?
Wash it out.
Even Nick knows what it is. I haven't even seen one before. I know off of Joe Rogan. That's the only way I ever heard
Problem
of
is,
it.
how do you wash it without it being gross?
There's no way.
There's just no
Ask
way.
a woman how cleanup is, and that's how a fleshlight is. Just the way shit goes, man.
Don't have one.
Or don't have one.
Problem solved.
That's the way I would go.
So that'd be the first thing, man. My biggest thing is that, quit drinking pop. That's what I tell people. Quit drinking pop.
That has been my wife's albatross, so to speak. Is
Wow, great term.
You're
You
welcome.
know who likes terms like
welcome.
that?
English teachers?
English majors.
Oh, majors, sorry.
Yeah.
No, she said that, she was a diet pop drinker. So what is it? It started when she was pregnant the second time, and she got into diet Sunkist lemonade, the sparkling stuff. We're talking like 4 cases a week. We're talking like hardcore. And then she started, it's only been recently with another member of our gym who said, let's see if we can get you off of this. And she's done a really good job. I'm going to say she's only had 1 or 2 in the last 3 weeks. She's
Which is
done
okay.
What's
awesome.
What's the crazy thing that she was drinking? She let me drink it the other night when we went to your place to watch MMA. Keone Coke, badass fight.
I don't know what you were drinking.
Oh, it was a ginger. It was a ginger type.
Oh, it was stevia pop. So it's
stevia.
Stevia
pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zevia, I think it's
Zevia,
called.
something like that. Yeah, I know
Zevia,
what you're talking about.
But it's got
though.
stevia. It's got stevia.
And the
right?
cool thing about stevia is that it does not spike your blood sugar, which in turn does not create an insulin output from your body.
Which keeps you hungry.
And insulin, when your body dumps a ton of insulin, that's when your body starts changing or taking that the sugar and putting it right in the fat cells. Yes?
Yes.
No?
Correct.
I would agree.
Correct. So stevia pop.
So we're at, I think she likes the root beer. Because I mean, it doesn't, it's like any pop, and it's not going to taste like you want it to taste. But I think root beer is the one that she said really is the one that kind of can. And she doesn't drink it all the time. She might have one in an evening.
It's a good replacement.
There you go.
But if you needed something just to satisfy that need, if you just needed something besides water, what's it called again? What's the name brand?
Zevia, I think, is what the hop is.
I think so. It's you can find it at Hy-Vee, health food market.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep,
Yeah,
you can find it back there.
So if you want something carbonated, if you want something that's sweet, you can find something other than
Pop.
Yeah.
Correct.
Soda Popinski,
If you choose.
if you choose.
But you got to choose.
Yeah.
Got to start there.
That's probably one of my biggest downfalls. I was thinking of this. I was actually conscious of this the other day. I hadn't drank any water in 5 days.
That's no good.
Holy cow! Really?
0.
Did you poop? How do you do that?
It was nothing but Pepsi. It was nothing but Pepsi.
Well, you got water. It's just
Pepsi
in a
and
bad form.
Right. I had
Right.
Pepsi and I had orange juice.
I'm not sure which is worse.
Well, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd put I have these like powdered greens. I'd
Yeah.
put a couple scoops in my orange juice and I'd blend it up and I'd drink that. Then I would get
so
to
wait
work.
a minute. You're fucking drinking powdered greens.
All right, here we go. This is
Right?
This is what you need. This is what you need and you deserve.
You're
Go
drinking
ahead.
fucking powdered greens, which are good.
Thank
hey,
you.
I do them too because
Thank
I don't
you.
eat enough vegetables during the day. But then you're 5 days no water.
Oh, yes. And
That's a condition, sir.
I kept thinking about it. I kept actually thinking about this because like the first day went by and I was at work and I go, if I drank fucking water, maybe I wouldn't feel tired. But I'm tired right now.
Or you
so
won't die.
So I better go get a Pepsi. So I would go get a
You're
Pepsi
thirsty.
because I'm thirsty and I'm tired. And I can't be tired at my job at all. I can't even be like somewhat drowsy at all. So, and I would drink a shitload of coffee. So Pepsi, coffee,
man.
and orange juice. That's all I'm putting liquid-wise. That's all I'm putting in my body. Every day. And I was consciously thinking of this. Every day I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I still did not drink any water. And I would fill up my water containers and I would have them in my backpack, which I carry throughout the day. I have water with me.
I'm not sure you're making a good impression.
I'm not
on
trying to make
anybody
a
or
good
any
impression.
listeners. I'm not. This is a really bad
You know what?
path.
Somebody out there is listening to this right now and going, "Amen."
I
Matt.
haven't shit in
Amen,
3 days
Matt.
either. I'm just like Matt.
I'm just like you, Matt. Sometimes I think, what the fuck am I doing? I haven't drank any water. And I have it right next to me, and I'm still choosing to do the coffee. I'm still choosing to do the soda.
I will throw things at you. Drink this water, and it will probably be a water bottle.
It'd be like if you were what's that? Was it a Jarhead?
And right
where they
now
had to
I'm
go
gonna
out in the
drink a
desert
beer.
and they made them stand in formation
Yeah.
and they had to sit there and chug a liter bottle of water, like make them do it because they won't do it otherwise.
I've actually been there. Turn your canteen upside down. Put it above your head. Turn it upside down. I've been there. I know what it's like. In fact, that was kind of a silver lining to a shitty moment in my life, being in the desert. That was probably the only time in my life that I truly felt how it feels to be completely and utterly hydrated all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they are forcing water down your throat constantly.
Because I think the important thing is it probably is
Because so
And my-
you won't die.
Yeah, and my ex-wife showed up in Cairo to spend a holiday with me, and she got off the plane. She goes, "Oh my God, how hot is it here?" And I go, "I don't know, 80, 90." Because I'm acclimatized
Yeah.
to it. I've been there for however many months, and I'm drinking water like a badass. And 2 days later, she could not leave the room. She had to stay in an air conditioned room because she had almost a fucking heat stroke. And I'm thinking, I'm not getting any ass. I'm not doing anything I want to do because she's not drinking water.
oh, that's funny.
But that's what happened. I mean, that's probably the best I've ever felt is because I constantly was forced to drink water.
I do the greens that you talk about, and I
Yeah.
do Advocare Spark at the same time.
Boom.
And so I think it's a bigger. What's the big? How many liters is the big
What
mixer?
the fuck does that mean? Boom.
It means I'm doing
do you
it
do
right.
Spark too?
Yeah, I do. Advocare's awesome.
What's
Okay.
the shaker bottles? How much water is in that? Is that 30? That's not
30 ounces.
It's 30
Yeah.
ounces.
Yeah,
So I do
30
3
ounces.
of those a day. I don't always do Spark with it, but I do greens every time I do it just to make sure I get
So you
enough
do greens 3 times a day?
Yeah,
No shit.
2 scoops. I'm in a mode right now where I'm
in a
like
mode.
I want to I want to like really flush my system with a lot of nutrients.
Now, after everything I've said, Nick is going to get
we all
kick
think
out
you're
of
an
this.
asshole. Go ahead.
Dude,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
a complete
Relax.
wreck. I will completely agree that I'm a wreck. But this is what I'm going to do.
Uh-huh.
Because I have a physical that I have to go to for my work.
Oh shit.
Like an over 40 physical?
Don't do the prostate. No. It's not
Okay.
it's not the
Is
prostate.
that where you were going, or just he was old?
No.
I just threw it out there. He said it.
No.
Every
It's not
year,
that.
every year, I gotta go. We have to go do physicals every year to make
Yeah.
sure that we're maintaining our health. Because I work at a radiological type place.
Are you maintaining your health?
No, so I have to do my physical on the 19th, and I thought yesterday I was going to start this and do juicing. Because I have a juicer and
Yeah.
I have a kick-ass juicer.
Juicer. Oh yeah.
And I have a kick-ass blender, and I love my blends and I love my juices, but it's just the effort of putting it in.
Yeah.
But I wanted to juice, and I'm going to
Okay.
starting tomorrow. I gotta go to the grocery store. I'm gonna juice until my physical. Now, the last time, Nick Rosine,
Uh-huh.
the last time I felt amazing was when I went on a 9-day juice fast. 9 days of nothing but juicing vegetables.
man.
You didn't have any meat or anything.
I had
Like
no meat. I chewed nothing. Nothing. I should have chewed fucking ice cubes, but I chewed nothing. I drank everything, and I felt amazing. And I lost a shit ton of weight. I had, when you walk through, you might not know this, but Todd, you know this
because I'm old.
because you're like me.
Seasoned.
Thank you, Go.
I like that.
When you're walking around throughout the day and you're like, oh, my fucking clothes are tight and I feel bloated. That's because you've eaten like shit
Yeah. And everything's fucking inflamed. And,
Yeah.
Ugh.
But when you do that 10-day juice fast, I got it from Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. That's the juice, the recipe that I got. So if you want to know what the juice recipe is, I'll put it on the website. But I did that for 9 days because I came home on the 9th day, and my wife fucking sabotaged me, and she had like spaghetti and the garlic bread and everything. I came home and I almost ejaculated in my pants just smelling the food. That I came
Pre-ejaculation, it's a condition as well.
Is it too much? Too soon?
No, it's not too much too soon. It's the same we might need to work.
Here's the problem.
See a doctor
Here's the
about that.
problem.
Yeah, breathe.
I just saw that they were advertising, hey, if you don't want to have pre-ejaculation, get this medicine. Fuck you. I do not want to deaden the head of my dick.
You're really going off on this tangent.
Where was I?
Okay, I'm going to add to you what you said. I was so concerned.
Nick's like, I'm coming back tomorrow. I don't know if you had me scheduled for tomorrow. I'm coming back tomorrow because we're talking about pre-ejaculation. We're talking about sensitive dickheads. Come on. Or we're going to talk about my gym again.
New Year's Day, I was so concerned about this RX competition that I was doing that I thought, well, first of all, New Year's Eve, I was sitting on the couch by myself, finishing like a 12-pack of beer, eating horrible.
Lonely.
Yeah, everybody was asleep. Yeah, totally. I was all by myself. I wasn't even watching the ball drop. I was watching some stupid TV show, and probably Duck Dynasty or something terrible. And I thought, I'm not even enjoying drinking this beer. Why am I sitting here drinking it? I'm not enjoying eating these M&Ms. Why am I eating them? It was just horrible. And I thought, okay, tomorrow. And I had, again, we've talked about this before, of plugging in the things that are positive. And I said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get back to juicing, blending, doing those kind of things, right? So from New Year's Day until the competition, which I think was the 28th, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, I did nothing.
I could actually see a big difference in you.
Blends I had 3 blends a day. No meat. And so I lost 25 pounds. And then I've gone back. I've having more dinners with my family kind of thing. But I blend all day long, and I drink that water all day long, and I've maintained 240 from 265 on New Year's Day this whole time period, because my whole goal was, if I'm not having to pull up 25 extra pounds or 20 pounds...
It's a big fucking difference.
Yeah. That was my plan, because I knew the guy, my partner, God bless him, is a great athlete, and I knew he was going to have to pull my ass along half the way, and he did. But I thought if I could just lose 10, even 15 pounds, that would be that much less work I'd have to do.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. And I don't find it's a thing like you're carrying water around, but you're not drinking it. I take an enormous thing of blends to my workplace.
To your work, yeah.
Right? And it lasts me 2 days.
Sure.
It's 2 blends a day.
Yeah.
And that's my lunch, that's my snack, everything. And then at night, I usually eat whatever is for dinner, but I don't eat any carbs at all. But tonight, we're doing Valentine's Day for school with my children.
Yeah.
They picked out Fun Dip for their Valentine's Day thing. And when I was a kid, Fun Dip was the fucking bomb. I loved Fun Dip.
You know what? Fuck Fun Dip.
It's horrible. It's really horrible. It's like it's literally a packet of powdered sugar that's different colors or flavors, and you have a stick of sugar that you lick, and you dip it in the flavoring, and you lick the stick.
Yeah, I don't want that.
And you can eat all of it. And so I have 2.
Anybody with any nutritional background would be like, what the fuck?
No, I mean, it's probably delicious and stuff, but I'm not a big sugar guy.
Again,
I walked in the door tonight for this podcast, and I was like, I was feeling really great today, and I had 2 Fun Dips, and I can feel it in my gut.
What the fuck are you doing? It's for your kids.
No,
it's fun, and you dip it.
I'd be a great advertisement for it. No, we had extra. We had leftovers, and so I thought, well, I haven't had them for a long time. I've been doing a really great job. I'll have it. And my gut just seized up when I ate this horrible shit. Now I wish that would do it for beer. I wish my stomach would seize up when I could stop drinking it. But it just tastes so good when it touches your lips. It's just so hard,
man. It's good.
That's kind of a CrossFit thing too. I think it's like hard work, eating clean, and then once in a while,
you have a beer. It's okay.
Yeah,
ain't gonna kill you.
What's gonna happen when pot's legal in Iowa?
I am.
There's gonna be some high people.
People are going to start gardening.
Hey, man, it's okay. Like
There's going to be some gardeners.
Whatever they want to do, man.
They talk about people doing jiu-jitsu high, like people in Brazil.
Sure.
That sounds dangerous for me, CrossFit wise. I couldn't imagine being mellow or drunk. You wouldn't do CrossFit drunk either.
You got to get out of the gym. You can't, like, whatever you want to do on your own time, that's cool. But you can't come in like that.
You can't come in giggly.
Yeah, it's not.
You can't come in willy-nilly. You got to come in devoted, focused, ready to kick ass.
Hurt yourself.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
and or others. The Keith. What are you fucking laughing about? I said you could hurt yourself and or others, and you're like, ha, 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 ha.
I chuckled. You have a manic laugh going on. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I just thought it was funny you said and or others.
Okay. I was actually thinking of funny. Keith Ogre. You've heard of the Keith Ogre thing?
Yep.
What the fuck happened there? I've seen the video. I've seen some video. Did he drop the bar on his back, or did that bar bounce off of the weight that was stacked behind him because of improper setup and then bounce back and hit him in the back? What the fuck happened with that? Does anybody know?
No.
From the video I saw, it was a freak accident.
Yep, that's all it was. Freak accident. Something happened and resulted in that.
I think you were at a competition where a gal didn't drop a weight and went backwards and hit a rack and broke her finger in 2 places because she just didn't drop the weight that was over her head. So I don't know why she didn't drop the weight. You know, if it was a competition,
it's just things happen.
Sometimes your body just reacts in a way because you're trying to save it. You don't want to lose what you've done. So you're compensating and trying to save that weight instead of just going,
I wasn't at that competition. I have no idea. Just from the few snippets of video that's been out, I don't think anybody can really say anything unless they were there.
About the Keith Ogar thing.
Yep. I don't. Unfortunate as it is.
Yeah.
It's totally. It's horrible. It just what it happened.
Here's the amazing silver lining though. Because of the camaraderie, because of the family type atmosphere of CrossFit, this guy is really, the medical bills, the people that are donating to his page, to his health care is amazing.
I was just going to say the exact same thing.
And if you were just going into a gym, I don't care what fucking gym it is, if you were just going into a gym to work out, to get a sweat on, to feel stronger, to lose some weight, I would not be donating to you.
No.
Because I don't fucking know you, because there's not that family atmosphere, which CrossFit 2.2 will give you.
He was a major trainer there that people loved. So, it's not... that's it in a nutshell. I think you're not going to find that situation in too many places when you're invested in everybody around you. If you're rooting, like you said, rooting somebody on because they're the last person on the wad to be going, and I've been in that position, and I hate the fact that everybody's fucking standing around me going, "Good job, you can do it." And I'm like, "Leave me the fuck alone. I can't believe this is how horrible this is."
That's because you got a fucked up head. That's because you personally are just fucking wrong in the head.
Yeah. They're all supporting me, and you're right. They're all supporting me, and I'm the one who I'm the one who's like, oh my god, part of it is because I'm just embarrassed that it's taking so long and it's so hard. But I know that they're supporting me.
Yeah,
you don't find that anywhere else.
No, I don't. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And every time you pull up a YouTube video of a competition, every fucking time that happens, every time. The number one guy is rooting on the next guy. And then when that guy finishes, they're both rooting on the next guy or the next lady. And I have yet to see a competition where I thought, what a bunch of dicks. I haven't seen that. I just haven't seen that. I've seen people rooting on the next people. And if it wasn't the number one guy rooting on the next person, it was somebody. It wasn't just void. And you might, like you said, you were like, leave me alone. I just want to finish this. There is that feeling, but I would think there's a completely different feeling that if nobody was your email.
Yeah, you're
If
right.
everybody
Absolutely.
just
You would feel like
walked
a
away.
turd broadcasting to the world that you're the last fucking person finishing.
Mm-hmm. What I thought was funny is I had some friends come up from Arkansas over Christmas break. You might know them, and they came they said, "Hey, can we come to your gym and work out with you?" I said, "Sure." And they had one of those.
Dude, tell
you know how Rich Froning will go to an affiliate and do like a thing for them to bring people in.
Yeah.
Or like Christmas Abbott will do shit like that too. Well, they are at a gym in Arkansas that has people that come in there and do like seminars and all this crazy stuff who are like big time CrossFit games people. And so I thought, oh, they're kind of badasses. I wonder what they'll think about our gym. And I bring them in for it, and they go, "What's the WOD today?" I said, "It's right there." And they're like, "We have to do 100 burpees?" And I go, "Yeah." And then 100 not back extensions. What's the other? I'm blanking.
I don't know. I don't go to
GHDs.
GHDs. There you go. So 100 burpees and 100 GHDs, and this is the Saturday after Christmas.
Okay, for all you non-CrossFit geeks out there, what the fuck's a GHD?
It's like a back extension machine, but you're doing it the other way around, so you're going backwards.
Oh, you're almost and I hate to say hyperextending your back, but you're back bowing and you're coming up into like a sit-up.
Abdominals, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So it's 100, and they're just all looked at me like, "We have to do 100 burpees," and I was like, "Yeah,
dude, we do that."
I said, "I'm not surprised." They're like, "Can you do 100 burpees?" I said, "Yeah, I can do 100 burpees. It'll take me a while. Don't get me wrong, but I'll do 100 burpees." I said, "I learned here awfully quick that you just need to fucking forget about it. You're going to do 100 burpees and break it up however you need to break it up, but you have to get 100 burpees done."
And if you can't forget about it, Nick Rosin's going to be in your ear saying, "Get out of your head."
Yeah, get the fuck out of your head. Exactly. Perfect. See?
True.
You know him so well. And it was funny because one of the guys, one person ended before me, the other person ended after me, and she's a pretty good athlete.
I swear to God, if you don't turn your fucking phone off, I'm going to
It's
smash
vibrating. I have children and a family. So fuck off. Yours is upstairs. Mine's the other side of town.
Okay, so, what were you saying?
No, that was it. I was just saying I was there. Even people I thought were in the mix, our affiliate was a little bit tougher than they had dealt with before that. And I thought that was interesting that you get these assumptions about CrossFit. You get these assumptions about different affiliates and different things that they do. There could be a lot of hype and a lot of popularity, and yet you come to a really simple box in Cedar Rapids, and it'll knock you on your ass.
Dude,
I think that's a good thing.
Tell that story about the about those two people from Arkansas, and you're like, "Oh fuck, are we going to talk about?"
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're good, very, very good friends, and if they hear that, they'll love knowing that we're talking about them. But
I love talking about them.
They do listen to the podcast, so that's good. Anyway, so they came out. Let's see, I've been almost a year and 3 months. So they came out the summer before I started. No, this came out the right when I started, so November-ish of 2012.
And we're not talking like shitty people with no kids. These are people with careers. These are people with children.
And also serious athletes. One of them has done multiple Ironman competitions, pretty much of a badass.
All right.
His wife has done a lot of physical.
Now you're just making me feel like a fucking turd. It's my ex-wife's husband, who's an amazing dude.
He's an amazing athlete. And so
you don't have to keep going on and on about him, dude. I'm just
Jesus Christ.
I'm just fucking around. I'm just playing.
I know.
I could care less.
So
go ahead.
So we're sitting around a campfire,
Nick's
and
like,
he goes,
"What the fuck did I get in on tonight?"
Man, whoa.
I'm pretty sure Matt smoked a doobie before we started.
I just want to do some burpees.
There you go. So, and he was the guy that was there that day.
Yeah.
And so we're around the campfire and we're chatting, and they're like, "So you started CrossFit? What do you think?" And I was like, I'm a month in." I said, "But I really like it. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. You get kind of wrapped up in it." I said, "But I think it's a fitness thing that I will stick with for a really long time." And they're like, "So you're not going to talk anymore about it?" And I was like, "No, it's what my workout is now." And they said, "Oh, fuck. We got these guys down. This guy I work with, I can't talk to him about anything other. He won't talk about anything other than CrossFit. He's just fucking CrossFit 24/7. And I wanted to ask him about how his kids are. And he doesn't want to fucking talk about his kids. He wants to talk about CrossFit." And she said the same thing. She's just like, all he's talking about is CrossFit. And you do feel passionate about it, and you get involved in the community. All the things we've talked about are very much engaging. So they're like, "So you're like that?" I was like, "No, I love it. I think it's great. I'll probably stick with it." I said, "But I think you guys would like it because it's competitive and it's a great sport. I think you'd like it." 2 months later, they're fucking locked in Arkansas. Just like done. And they did the first competition before I did.
Okay.
So they love CrossFit, and so when they came up, they said, "Do you want to go?" I said, They said, "Can we work out at your gym?" I said, "Absolutely, let's go." And so I met them there on Saturday morning. Am I missing something that you want to talk about?
There was a particular thing where the funny part. God dang you! The funny part of this whole story.
Yeah, don't start swearing right now.
Because I've been holding back.
Say "gosh dang you" instead of "god damn it." Or, yeah,
son of a nutcracker. The funny part of the story when you told me it was. Here's a couple of people who thought, oh my God, are you going to fucking inundate me with all your fucking, how many blocks of protein are you eating? Shit like that.
12, if you want to know.
About CrossFit. Thanks, Nick. Because we're being inundated by these people who are friends of ours, and they can't talk about anything but CrossFit.
Yeah, do you eat paleo? Do you do all the shit? Right.
But then they get indoctrinated in this almost cultish, awesome thing. And then they start being exactly, and then you start giving, and then you're like, dude, shut up. Hey, are we gonna be able to do CrossFit? You were giving examples of
every day they were here. They're like, is there somewhere we can go? Can we go somewhere? Like, yeah, we can go somewhere every day. Okay, you're right.
That was the funny part of the story. You fucked it up.
No, I think you covered me just fine.
All right,
you did great. I'm
glad we brought it full circle. Nick is sitting here thinking,
I'm just, in all honesty, I'm just kind of in awe of how bad my feet stink over here.
God, I didn't even notice.
I did. I have. God bless you and your fucking feet.
Man, I didn't think they were that bad.
Oh, bro, I'm sitting over here. I was like, man, these are
barbecued Fritos.
I'll tell you what,
in the house.
If there's anything that can take your focus away off of him and I going back and forth, it's your fucking feet stench.
Oh, they're bad.
You know what's funny is right now just popped in my head as Leah Dunham saying, I don't think you two have a problem listening to each other or talking to each other.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, you're not kidding.
The last podcast we had, which you may really like, is we had a woman on who wrote a book called America's Two-Headed Pig. Her father was a vet. Is a vet in Northeast Iowa. Mm-hmm. He's been a vet for over 40 years. And for 20 years, he wrote notes on, this is what I'm seeing in farm animals. This is what I'm treating them for. This is the symptoms that they have. And this is the environment that they're being raised in. Now, is there a correlation? I don't know.
Mostly focused on GMOs, genetically
and just being aware of the difference in farms from 40 years ago to today.
Right.
But yeah, she totally. We started the podcast. We're like, hey, we can edit out whatever you'd like. And normally I'm a little bit out there, and I might say a few things that are inappropriate. She goes. Could you send me a copy
before you post
before you put it on the internet? Could you just let me listen to it first so that I can okay it? And we thought, I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Well, the first thing I thought was like, I never thought about that. That's pretty legit. If we say something that she doesn't like, that could be pretty bad.
I thought, yes, absolutely. I'll definitely give you a copy of it. And then tonight, as we were going on and on, I thought, Leah would not approve of this. She would not approve of what Todd is saying.
I think she would. She had a great time.
Yeah, but there's a couple of swear words, and maybe we didn't talk about money shots.
I don't. That was the one thing in the beginning that I thought would be an issue. Was you're talking about the money shot? Yeah. I thought again.
See, Nick's got a smile on his face.
Because he enjoys shit like that. I'm just saying.
He doesn't look like he's offended.
He's not offended.
Nick, are you going to need a copy of this before we post it?
I will be okay.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How many people listened to your last podcast? Did you listen to the last podcast?
Yes.
Did you listen to the final? Were you okay with everything?
Yeah, I was okay.
You were good with everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
Did you get any feedback from that at all? From anybody?
I don't think so, no.
Nothing negative.
Nothing bad, no.
I know people who listened to it, so I thought it was good.
Yeah, I haven't.
I was pretty nervous.
You did great.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous.
You're much better today, even with your stinky fucking.
Hey, listen.
They're bad, man.
You know what? It's creating camaraderie because I'm getting pulled through the suck. Right now, we're all having to deal.
I was going to ask you. You posted some pictures of you doing. I don't know if it was an overhead squat or a snatch or something with a kilo T-shirt on over in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Now, did you start at Kilo? So obviously you started at Kilo while you were still in the military, or before, or how'd that start?
That takes us back a bit. Originally started the original CrossFit gym in the Cedar Valley area. I think I don't even know, maybe even Iowa. I'm not even sure. Was CrossFit Cedar Valley, which is in Waterloo, which was started by Armin McCormick and Jared Bargman. I ended up started training there, learning how to do CrossFit there after I got back from, I can't remember, from Iraq. I started training there.
First tour or
second tour?
Second tour.
Yep, second tour. And then Mac is just like, hey, do you want to maybe think about doing this, CrossFit? I was like, yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's really neat. And I liked it quite a bit. I could see it going somewhere. And so I, started being mentored under him, and just kind of everything just rolled.
Is that gym still open in Waterloo?
Nope.
It's
No.
not. So Kilo kind of became that gym, so to speak?
We ended up having the two locations. One was in Waterloo, which was CrossFit Cedar Valley, and then CrossFit Kilo, which was then in Cedar Falls. And everything the focus just kind of all just went over to Cedar Falls.
Is it kind of because of the college there and the athletes they brought in, kind of, or how that?
I think it was just a better location.
Okay.
Yep.
And so did you stay with it then as you were in the military?
Yep.
And as you came back, you just went back to the gym? And
just
kept it going?
kind of went back there. The training, my CrossFit training has not been as solid because I would always have to, I would start training CrossFit for a bit, then have to stop, and then start focusing training on military aspect, getting ready to do that. So this last 2 years have been the most time I've been able to dedicate to just completely CrossFit training.
Do you ever wonder, because Todd's talking about a picture of you doing this when you're overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people saw you doing that, or do you have any idea of the impact that you've had on other people that were watching you work out? Because I asked this question because when I was overseas, or when I was in Haiti, right when we got to this place in Port-au-Prince, and we were taking over for the Marines, they were having a powerlifting competition.
Yeah.
That was kind of my first little spark into, maybe that's an avenue I want to go down. I wonder how many people saw you working out, or because CrossFit's not very old. It's a fairly new, popular routine.
As working out goes, or training or exercise, it's fairly new. So I don't know, man. Like, I made all my guys do it.
Were you a squad leader over there?
Yeah, I was a team leader.
Team leader
for Scout Reconnaissance Unit. Yeah, I made all my guys do it. And then I would do it, we would do it in front of everybody, and they're just like, man, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, I'd hate to be in that dude's fucking team.
And how many people are still in and have taken those type of workout routines and continued on with it?
A lot.
It's really a pretty cool thing to think about.
Well, and I guess I personally always wondered, I was like, how did, I saw the Kilo t-shirt, but then you talked about the tours that you were on. I was like, then I saw the picture and I was like, oh shit. So you were doing it while you were going overseas and coming back. All that stuff was happening at the same time. So, hey, off on a different tangent. And we can always edit this out too if you don't want to. But last time you were here, you talked a lot about getting more counseling and feeling better about the PTSD stuff. Is that gotten better?
Yeah, man. Honestly, continuing to go.
Oh, really?
I got a dude there. Name is Carl. Man, he's a good dude.
And is it that place that you just happened to drive by that day?
Fucking drove by it, and I was like, "What is that?"
That's awesome.
Still continue to go.
Is that like a weekly thing, or is it? How does it work? It's just one-on-one. It's not group stuff.
Nope, just one-on-one. Kind of depends. Sometimes I was like, man, might want to come back next week. Sometimes it's bi-weekly. So just kind of
And you getting a benefit from it? You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it hard to admit that? Was it hard to get to that point?
That is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my whole entire life.
Really?
To really sit there and take a look at yourself and be like, you can't fix this. You can't do it. For as much as we're bred to be problem solvers and not let anything happen to you emotionally and just brush shit off and fucking continue to do your job, yeah, that's hard.
Oh, I can only imagine.
That's hard.
Well, and it's hard. I mean, again, I can put myself in a situation, and I try to, you try to be empathetic about situations in particular, but I don't know if you can be. I don't know if you can put yourself in a situation where you've had to be in a foreign place or you've had to engage other people militarily. I mean, shoot at people. I mean, the whole idea of that sounds something that is almost incomprehensible to me. And so to have to deal with that one-on-one with somebody and kind of break through that barrier so that you can get healthy, good to you. Good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it took a lot. Probably too late. I mean, nothing's ever too late as long as you make the choice to do it. But, it probably should have happened sooner.
So you wish you'd done it sooner?
Yeah, probably. But, everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
In time. So
when you're doing it now, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Right? I asked him why you
just step out and take a piss.
While you were doing that, I breached the dark subject of how things are going with the counseling for the PTSD kind of stuff, and he said things are going really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time you were on, I didn't get the name of the place. Was it on Wiley Boulevard? There was a place that you said you kept driving by, and you didn't want to stop in, and then you finally stopped in, and it was really awesome, very chill, and people could just come in.
God, I want to say it's Edge Road, man.
Edgewood Road?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the name of the place? Do you know?
The Vet Center.
The last time you were on, I didn't know exactly where this place was, and I work with a ton of vets. And I'm the type of person I never really feel comfortable bringing up the subject of, hey, is there anybody you would like to talk to? If you even feel like you need to talk to somebody, can I help in any way? I wanted to have some place to say, people were when we had our last podcast, people were very excited about hearing it, and hey, who'd you have on last night? So I have some great people that I work with that are into this.
Cool.
And when I talked about our last podcast, they go, where did he go? What was the place that he went to that he felt so comfortable with? And I thought, I don't remember exactly the name that he said, and I don't want to give you the wrong place. And there's a lot, I would say 95% of the people I work with are vets. And they're people that have been wounded, have been shot, have been awarded Purple Hearts.
Right.
And kids. And it kind of killed me a little bit inside to think I had somebody on that had
a resource,
had an outlet for you that he felt very comfortable with, and I can't give it to you right now.
It is 4250 River Center Court Northeast, Suite D, Cedar Rapids. So
it's called the Vet Center.
The Vet Center.
There you go.
Simple.
Cedar Rapids Vet Center.
So if you are a vet out there, if you're listening to this and you are a vet and you're thinking, I don't know, am I being a pussy about this? Should I talk about this? I don't know if I want to talk about this. Why not? It might make you feel better. I'm sure there's thousands of other guys that are out there thinking, I don't want to talk about this. Does this make me less of a man? Does this make me a pussy? Does this make me a coward?
The crazy thing is, forever, we didn't even fucking talk about combat.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about any of that shit. And I flat out asked him. I was like, look, isn't this kind of weird? We haven't even talked about any of my combat experience. We haven't said a word about it. He asked me, initially, you've been in combat? I said, yeah. Been in firefights? Yeah. I've been on, just basic combat, whatever. And then that was it. And then we continued just to talk. Just what it was, you're just building a relationship. For me to sit there and really talk about whatever the fuck was going on in my head or whatever, I'm not just going to spill that out to some dude sitting in a chair. Like, I didn't even want to walk in this motherfucker in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't even want to talk to you. It took every ounce of courage I had to walk in here in the first place. And then you want me to talk about my feelings? Good luck.
Right.
You know? So
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So,
Very honest.
you know, it's, and that's, you know, that I can be honest with that, dude. I can be exactly how I am in the world. And it just, you know, it just built a relationship for a bit. And then after that, it was easy. But initially, yeah, walking in there, hardest thing probably ever done.
Oh, I couldn't imagine it. Because you mean you're so vulnerable, you know,
Dude,
and that's part of it.
Dude, hated it.
And then, but you're vulnerable. But having to be vulnerable, and then you're having to talk about shit that, you know, is
Like, what do you want to know? Like, what?
I mean, it'd be any kind of. I would imagine counseling period is a difficult thing because you are ripping things open. You're tearing open old wounds, or you're bringing shit up that you would rather just forget about in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but still, I mean, that you mean counseling? I guess usually is when traumatic experience happens, or you know, marriage counseling might be taking place where it's like, okay, great, we're gonna go in and talk about how we're mad at each other, or shit sucks, you know, kind of thing. But to walk in by yourself, that sounds daunting.
At some point, you're gonna have to do it. Like, I just physically, emotionally, like I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I knew something was wrong, and it was just, I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it. So like the fear, like how I was going, the road I was going, the way I was living, like outweighed the fear of me having to go talk to this dude, go talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it'll happen.
What I see in the people that I work with, and just being an ear, you know, just listening to them, and they know that their other coworkers have been in the military of whatever extent. I had to actually check somebody a little while ago because there's always somebody who solidifies your team. There's always somebody who solidifies your group. I don't care where you're at. If you're a new hire group of 20 or so people, if you're in the military, if there's one person who's an asshole, if there's one person who's an idiot, if there's one person that everybody can... We had one person who kept making really stupid comments, and it solidified everybody else. There was people that were like, hey, let me help you so that you stop making a fool of yourself. But it solidified everybody else. It really pulled everybody together, kind of friends, because we all had this kind of almost common enemy, right? But this guy who was our common enemy, when I first got hired on, he was the joke. Everybody kind of laughed at him. Well, a little while ago, I had to check somebody because this guy had been overseas, a vet, and he was talking about how hard a time he has had since he's been back. The time that he had when he was there, how he's had to adjust since he's been back, the counseling that he's had, the medication that he's been on, the problems that him and his wife have had. And there was other vets saying, dude, what you saw and what you went through is nothing compared to what I went through. The point that I'm trying to get to eventually here is everybody handles shit differently.
Yeah.
And yes, you, Todd, might have went through something that was so fucking horrendous it could have been somebody's fucking nightmare, hell on earth. And you handled it fine. Rocky, case in point, dealt with what he saw in a very healthy way in his personality, and he was able to get through it really well. Here's a guy that I laughed at, that helped bring together a group of people to focus on, to say, oh, we're all friends now because we all don't like you.
Right.
And I watched this guy tell this story and listened to him, and I thought, this is this guy's personal hell. This is all he could deal with. And for this, for this guy over here, person A, to say you didn't go through anything compared to what I went through. Maybe. You're right. But what he went through fucked him up. Was a fucking living nightmare. And what he needs and what you need might be completely different, but what he needs, I guess I'm getting at is whatever you are dealing with, whatever you went through, whatever you saw, no matter how much you think it might be minimal, if it is affecting you and you need help for that or you need to talk about it, do it. It is no less valid than somebody who watched their best friend get blown to smithereens right in front of their eyes. If you went through something that has affected your life to where you deal with it every day or you think about it every day, or it makes you turn left instead of right, it changes the way you make decisions, seek help. Find somebody to talk to. And so when I saw this, it really changed the way I looked at this guy. And now he's kind of like this guy that I look out for. Like when I see him, I'm like, hey, I'm always nice to him. Hey, how's it going? And I'll let him talk to me about any kind of crazy fucking story he wants to. Because I think, who does this for this guy?
Right. Does he have anybody he can talk to?
Is he going anywhere?
Sure.
Besides the medication, besides his wife, who does he have that's just like, hey, you're cool. I'm going to laugh with you. I don't care what kind of fucking crazy story you tell me.
Just be yourself.
Yeah. So if you have, if whoever's listening to this, if you have people that are around you that are kind of like that, just for a second think, yeah, it didn't sound that bad, but it obviously fucked you up. And be compassionate towards those people or point them in the right direction. Or maybe you've seen stuff and you've dealt with it and you're like our buddy Rocky or like our buddy Nick here who has learned that they needed help or that they've dealt with it constructively. And maybe you're one of those people and you want to kind of push these other guys in the right direction to get help.
Well, especially when you have suicide rates like they are. I mean, that's like you said. I mean, they have Vietnam vets who are committing suicide now too, because they're feeling like they're seeing things not going in. They thought it was going to be better after that war because it was so bad, and they're seeing things be just as bad, and so they're having issues as well. You know, and this is way late. I want to again. The Daily Show had a thing on the other night with a bunch of Vietnam vets who cannot get PTSD therapy because it's too far after the war. They won't allow them to have it. And yet the studies that they're going off of now for PTSD are based off of the Vietnam War vets. And so the guys that they're basing everything off of for now to help guys get PTSD therapy, they can't get help for. And these are like men that are in their 60s and 70s who are still feeling like they have effects from things and would like to get some help. And they can't get it because they're, I don't know, outside the time limit. Fuck, I didn't know there was a time limit. So I thought if you're a vet, you can get help. I thought that was how it worked. But I guess
that's how it should work. If you're a vet, you should have it. Did we talk about this last time with Nick, when Nick was on about how I feel vets should be helped?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
My idea is I've seen abuse of the help. I've seen vets that I work with totally abuse the help and get the blank checks.
Yep. It's real.
If you are in the government or if you've been in the military and you're getting a check that you really don't deserve, you're no better. You are no better than a leech that you complain about, possibly from people that don't have jobs. I might not have said that the right way, but here's the.
It's the Primal Scream for a reason. You can say things the wrong way. You're all right.
Here's the scenario. I'm sitting at work. I have all these people that have been in the military around me, and one guy who's really obese is bragging about this fucking blank check that he's going to get because the military is going to pay him out because he's got sleep apnea now and he's got all these other health concerns. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you have all those health things because you are obese at this point. And to brag to me about how much money you're going to get and then how you're going to turn that over and then buy a new truck and buy a new Xbox and all this crap. This is what I would love to see. Quit sending blank checks to vets. Quit it. If a vet needs help, you should be able to go to a doctor or go to a psychologist or go to therapy and show your vet card and get in free of charge. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no paperwork.
Yeah.
You show your card, you get your treatment, you get help. You go to the doctor, you get your medicine free of charge. You shouldn't have to worry about money paying for that stuff. You show them your card. It's done. It's done. When you give a blank check to a kid in his early 20s, that kid might not, probably won't spend that money for the help that he needs, and he's going to buy the stuff that he thinks is going to make him happier, which is alcohol. And there's one guy that I knew that had like 4 fucking Xboxes. You know, and they're not taking their job seriously because they have a second paycheck coming in. They're not getting the help that they need because they are distracting themselves with material goods, thinking that it's going to help them get past what they've experienced. And throwing money, just throwing fucking money.
Well, that's the answer.
At
It's
people
just like
does not fix
the
things.
spoiled kid.
Yeah.
What do parents do? Spoiled kids just throw shit at them. They're crying. Throw it at them.
Give them what they want.
Keep them quiet for a bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't fix the root of the problem. It doesn't fix it.
Yeah. So I thought that maybe that was a harsh thing for me to say, which was stop giving money to vets and give them what they need instead of what they want, which is free health care.
Hey, man, that'd be awesome.
Whatever you need.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Now, if you lost a limb,
Sure,
free
there's gonna be
prosthetic. There's going to be some
ample
things that
compensation.
maybe you can't work.
You know,
Maybe you can't work.
based on the level of things, there'll be compensation for obviously what you sacrificed.
Right.
Sure, but yeah, at a basic level, I think, you know, healthcare and that stuff would be awesome for vets.
So that's always
I
been
don't-
one of those things that has troubled me that I've seen.
I don't need money. I just, hey man, I just want to go to the hospital if I need to.
and without worrying about it.
Yeah, I don't need that check.
How did we get down this?
I started it.
Yeah.
I was just checking in.
Why are you
I was
doing
just
that?
No, I was just checking in. I was just making sure he was doing good. That's all I'm doing.
He looks great. Your
Yeah,
feet are
always see-
funky.
Oh, bro.
You might want to go to the VA about your feet.
I don't think they can do anything about it.
What's your diet like?
They
Are you
need it-
doing the block thing? What is this block thing? What's the diet?
The
nutrition-
zone thing.
Oh, is it a zone diet?
Yeah, zone diet. Man, I just try to eat healthy, dude.
So
That's-
you don't necessarily
No,
subscribe to the zone diet.
no. I think you got to find out and figure out what works best for you. Really do. Obviously, follow a couple simple golden rules, like, you know, if it doesn't fucking come from the earth or wasn't living at one point in time, don't put it in your mouth. You know, the farther away it comes from being natural, obviously, the worse it is. You know, and just try and be smart. And obviously, you're gonna live your, you know, if you want a beer, like, go have a beer. Like,
Just
you know,
don't have 30 beers every night.
it's just moderation, like everything, you know, proportion. Like if you want to go have a pizza, hey man, go have a pizza. That shit's delicious. But you can't have it every single day. You know, go work your butt off, eat some healthy foods. You want to have a couple beers and a pizza on the weekend? Go have it.
And I mean, I drink those smoothies because it's convenient. I mean, my job, I don't have a lunch. I don't have opportunities to stop and eat food. And so when I'm about ready to start something else, I'm like, oh shit, it's 10 o'clock. I run down, I grab my whatever smoothie I'm doing, I shake it up, I drink it, and I make sure I fill it with water, and I keep that for the next hour or so and do what I need to do. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I'm like, oh shit, gotta eat it again. And I go down and get it. If I was trying to eat food, like sit down and eat a chicken breast or have some broccoli or a salad, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. And so
Yeah.
this is one way I've coped with kind of like, I'm just too busy. I can't do anything else besides sit there and chug this thing in front of people while I get my job done.
I can't tell you how many times I've taken in a blend or a smoothie or a juice, straight up juice, and every one of them are green. Every one of that I take in is either light green, kind of purplish green, or just fucking dark
or
dark
spirulina green.
Spirulina
oh,
green.
there you go.
And every time I'm digging it. It tastes great to me. And I go, who wants this? Who wants to taste?
And your kids love it.
Yeah, my kid.
Yeah.
You know what? You big pussies. If my kids will drink this stuff and go, I love that. Is that ginger, Dad?
I would be interested in
You want me to make you one?
juice. Yeah, like I just ate exactly what you said. Time's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Trying to get this stuff done. But then it falls back on personal responsibility too. If it's important to you, you've got to make the time to do it.
Yeah.
You have to.
And
before you know it, you've eaten a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I eat a pound of spinach and 2 pounds of kale a week.
That's a lot.
And that's just because of my blends. It's blended up. It's in a juice. I don't even think about it.
If you didn't blend, you would not be eating that much
Absolutely not.
dark leafy
Absolutely
greens.
not. So, I mean, and I still try to have salads at night and stuff like that. So, I mean, I wouldn't be eating like that if I wasn't blending. And I don't juice at all. I just blend everything. But I just want to make sure I got enough fiber all the time. But if I had Kick-Ass juice, your juicer is awesome.
You know
If I
what?
had that, I would be probably juicing more. But right now, twice a week, like, that blender kicks in. So.
I'm going to make this pledge. Tomorrow's the first day. I'm going to take a picture.
Are you wanting the two of us to hold you accountable?
Yeah.
Is what you're asking?
Well, this is what I'm going to do.
I know where you live, dude.
Everybody's on the couch watching TV.
I'm
Nick
gonna
walks in the
take-
door.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing today? Oh,
Hey.
fuck.
How about that Monster Burger? How about you fucking put that down? How about that? How about those curly fries? You fucking say adios. I'm going to take a picture tomorrow. And I'm starting juicing tomorrow. Because I want to get ready for this physical next week. Matt's physical.
Is it
But
over 40 again? You didn't clarify.
no, it's not over 40 yet.
It's really close, though.
Getting really close.
I'm close to 45. You got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Except the
Pre-ejaculation?
You know what?
Oh.
I've had a very gentle finger at my ass already.
What do you mean by gentle? Like,
Well,
was it
any of it
soft
gentle?
and
It
touchy?
wasn't fucking.
It wasn't
prison.
bony?
What was
I
it?
didn't
What
have
are you talking
dude.
about?
I didn't have a prison finger shoved up
How
my
can
ass.
anything be comfortable?
And what was this for?
It was when my wife and I couldn't have kids, and I had to go to the doctor to see if I had any problems. And they said yes.
Yeah, you had a
Mr.
finger up your butt.
I was gonna say,
That
Yes,
no
Mr.
problem.
Todd, you can't get off with a finger up your butt.
I have a friend of mine who hit 40, and supposedly when you hit 40, your next physical, they start doing the prostate exam. He was sitting there waiting for the doctor, and she had set out the tube of lube and the gloves,
Yeah.
and he took them and hit him in the back of the drawer and shut it. And of course, the doctor didn't see it and then totally forgot about it. That was his plan, was to hide everything so the doctor can't.
I tell
do
you
it.
what, when I get to that point when the doctor says, "All right, Mr. Matt, we're going to do this," I'm gonna think of what my wife and what every fucking woman deals with when they get their yearly, and I'm gonna say to myself, "Don't be a pussy, just get it. It's a fucking finger. You're not having some fucking
Clamp.
metal cold." Fucking thing, and what I'm doing right now for all of you people at home that can't see what I'm doing,
You're
I'm
mixing
doing like
eggs.
this old
You're
mixer thing. I'm
mixing
mixing eggs.
Yeah.
Just expanding some fucking horrible metal contraption. So you know what, ladies, I love
God
you.
bless you for what you do for
God
us.
bless you, and I love your bodies.
Oh,
wait
full
a
circle
second,
back
wait
to
a second.
CrossFit again.
Wait a second.
How odd that happens.
God, I have no inner filter.
I was going to tell you that the first CrossFit started in 2000.
Even 2000.
Even 2000. And he did it because he started working out at a gym in Santa Cruz with a friend. And then he started doing these crazy fucking workouts. And then the guy said, well, I don't want to do these crazy fucking workouts anymore. So he started his own thing. And then just barely started. And the sheriff's department for Santa Cruz County said, hey, can you train our all of our sheriffs, our deputies and everything? He said, sure. So, I mean, it still has a pretty much a military kind of background, police, firefighters, that kind of thing. So that's how it started. And he started from there, and then it just slowly grew. And it's this article in Forbes about Gassman, who started CrossFit, is really good because there's no holds bars. They talk about what a fucking asshole he is. But they talk about at the same time what he did to bring CrossFit to America, and kind of stuff. So I mean, it's a really good, honest, straightforward article.
You know what?
It's in
Just
Forbes.
forward that link to me, and I'll
got
put
it.
it on the website. And you know what I The proof is in the pudding. You believe what you see. It's like the Gracies in jiu-jitsu. Why did they get so popular? Why do people want to follow what they learn jiu-jitsu? Because they saw how Royce Gracie was kicking ass in the UFC, and so people wanted to learn, how is this little guy beating all these big guys? And again, here's a guy who starts CrossFit, and why did the police officers want to be trained this way? Because they saw how in shape these people were and how much fun they were having.
And it's functional movement. That's the key. It's for their jobs. You know, they're not doing bicep curls when they're in their squad cars. You know, they have to get out and run. They have to get out and squat down and do shit.
Unless you're fucking Ronnie Coleman. Unless you're Ronnie fucking Coleman.
Who's Ronnie Coleman?
Motherfucker who gets to go home, I don't know when, throughout his... Have you seen that? Have you seen that video where he's...
I haven't seen that video, but
you can look up Ronnie Coleman on YouTube, and he's an Olympian. He's Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
He's an Olympian, or he's Mr. Olympia?
He was a bodybuilding.
Okay, bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Olympia.
Mr. Olympia. Gotcha.
Big.
You said Olympian, I thought Olympics. Sorry. Go ahead.
Multiple winner of that, and they show him his daily routine. And he goes to work, puts on the vest, and gets in the uniform. And then for lunch, he goes home and he cooks up like, I don't know how many chickens. And he's just eating
6.
He just eats fucking chicken. He's constantly eating. And then he goes, and then he gets done. Throughout the whole fucking shift, throughout the whole fucking time he's driving the squad car, he's like, I'm eating. So
he's and this is the guy who's in
Mr. Olympia. Yeah,
and he's a
police officer.
Okay,
but I can't. If somebody were to say, "Tag, you're it," I don't know if Ronnie Coleman could chase somebody down.
No, dude, like
he could be the guy at the end of the alleyway that says, "You're not getting by me because there's physically no space between me and the walls of the alley." But I don't think I don't think he's running anybody down like a CrossFitter could do. CrossFitter could probably run your ass down.
I'm just saying that's why it got started, because they wanted the functional movement that's involved. And then I think when that was recent, the 19 firefighters that died in that fire in Colorado, they did a whole CrossFit competition to raise money for them.
Yep.
So all the big names showed up, and that was awesome to watch, because the guy who runs the CrossFit Games, I forget that guy's name.
Dave Castro,
he did it. He did it with everybody else, and he was way behind everybody. But he finished it all. But he's more of the voice of CrossFit than he is a CrossFit athlete, like hardcore, I guess. But he was dragging. It was kind of funny because they all give him a hard time because he comes up with these fucking horrible WODs to do for these CrossFit Games.
True.
Then he had to go in. He's like, all right, I'll do it with you guys. And he's the one who designed it, so he had to do his own CrossFit WOD. So it was kind of cool to watch.
All right, so Nick.
Yeah.
When is the gym fucking opening? When is opening day?
Okay, I'll put it this way. March 3rd is going to be our first day of classes that we're going to have at the new building.
Okay.
Tentatively, April 1, 2014, we are going to have our grand opening.
The grand opening.
Yeah.
Nice.
With balloons, strippers, keg of beer.
Balloons.
Okay. All right.
He'll promise balloons.
Yeah, I'll promise balloons.
I got a hard yes on balloons.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're leaning real hard for those.
Everything else was for
Strippers could be later that evening. You never know what can happen.
Maybe we can celebrate the success of the grand opening maybe later. Matt's saying this as if he's a single dude. I got a wife and kids. Strippers ain't happening. Come on, everybody. April 1st is grand opening. March 3rd,
yes.
You're looking to have your first workout.
First classes, 5 a.m.
Sweet.
Big ass facility.
You know what? I keep saying it, but I really do. I really do want to check it out.
Dude,
you should come in.
When it's all going to be said and done, this will be the best training facility in Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, the whole corridor.
I'm telling you, why I think that is I was at Kilo up in Cedar Falls, and they just opened a brand new facility as well, and it's very, very nice, and it's 12,000 square feet, right? And it's more room it's just an enormous building, right? This is half that size for Cedar Rapids, and it's fucking enormous. So I mean, that's why I'm excited about it, because I saw everybody was like, oh, this is ours is going to be half the size of Kilo's. And I was like, Jesus Christ, how much space do you need? We've been working out, in a pretty small size. Now you have an enormous amount of space. We're going to be able to do so much stuff that we couldn't do. I mean, there are times when I would hop on Kilo's website and see what their watt is for the next day. I'm like going, oh, I wonder how we're going to do that. And then I'll hop over to ours and see what our watt is, and it's been modified because we didn't have the space, like rope climbs and sled pulls and things like that. So it's going to be a really big space for this area. So it's going to be awesome.
I mean, I want nothing more than to give Cedar Rapids area in our members the absolute best training facility that I can provide for them. The best equipment, the best space, the best training, the best coaching. Everything that I can do humanly possible to give it to them, I will.
You know what? If I was an owner of a CrossFit gym, I would just fucking hire you. I would hire you. Because that's the type of person. If I were to go in, if I were to spend my money, and you're spending money, you're spending your hard-earned money. If you're going to spend money for a fucking trainer, and you're going to go somewhere to spend your fucking time, and you're going to be away from your family, you want to have somebody who's this passionate. All right, that's it. I'm done blowing him. That's it.
But it's true.
Yeah,
if you think about the money you spend on think of the money you spend on a membership to go somewhere.
You don't want a fat, lazy douchebag going, oh, come on, one more set, let's go.
You're going to spend $30 or $40 a month anyways, but with no help and no support. You throw in the community, you throw in the personal training, and you throw in the movements that you're doing and somebody keeping you on point all the time. I'm not going to say it's priceless because I'm a poor person, but it's worth every penny. And ask my wife, who you and I agree, we never thought in a million years would try CrossFit, let alone do a competition.
You get her to do some fucking cartwheels on a min, Rosine.
Well,
sorry,
I
honey.
will.
Sorry, honey. You knew it was going to come up.
She's going to listen to this. She's like, God damn you, Matt. Again, you bring up the cartwheels.
Now she'll have so much space, she can just flop all over. It won't even matter.
It doesn't matter. You're a 4-year-old with seizures. It's okay.
Well, you talk about body awareness from CrossFit. Cartwheels do that for you. That's why I like it.
Fucking do cartwheels.
It's fun.
I can't do a fucking cartwheel. I can barely touch my toes.
Well, you don't have to touch your toes to do a cartwheel.
That's right.
Well, then I'm in.
Done.
I'm in. Now, are you going to officially invite me to your grand opening?
Will you please come to my awesome fucking grand opening?
That's a hard yes. I'm going to do it.
Boom.
And starting tomorrow, what's going to happen, Todd?
You're juicing?
And I'm sending naked pictures to both you and Nick Rosine. And you're going to see the transformation.
The rainbow.
The rainbow effect of what my body, my temple is going to go through.
Hey, you know what? If you're willing, and if we can pull it off, I think doing a podcast from a grand opening would be pretty awesome. Or not even the grand opening, but if we could time it right, to do something like that.
To be down there, we can talk to the people coming in. We can talk to new people.
Yeah.
Talk to the people who have been there a while.
Yeah.
And tell them why they like it. What's better? I mean,
would they be receptive to my personality?
Dude, I'm their trainer.
True.
I was going to say, they're receptive to him. I think you're all right.
And that's the craziest thing.
I just don't want to walk in and have Nick be like, dude, let's cut it down on the money shots.
Stop it. What are we going to say?
That's what boggles my mind the most is that people put their trust in me. Like, not saying that I'm not a trustworthy guy, that I don't know what I'm talking about. Not any of that, because I am. But when I seriously look at somebody and tell them, yeah, you can do this, that they honestly, they believe it, and then they do it.
Well, I think
it's just crazy.
Well, and the thing is that you did this the other day. You don't necessarily know it until somebody can push you to it. We were doing weighted pull-ups, and somebody goes, "I can't do that. Have you fucking tried it?" No. Well, then you don't know if you haven't done it or not. Like, strap a 5-pound plate on your waist and see what happens. I mean, again, it may sound really simple. But if you don't have somebody there going, shut the fuck up, come on. It's like it's like working out with a buddy. You know what I mean? It's like just somebody's going to say, come on, give me a break. You know how to do that.
My wrestling coach said something that I'll never forget, which is the mind quits way before the body does.
It's the hardest part.
Getting past that mental block, Which, if you have somebody like Nick Rossin saying, what the fuck? Come on, guys. And keeping you motivated, keeping you, get out of your own head. Get out of your head. Quit thinking about the numbers. Just do one. Just jump up and do one. You're going to do it. And you're going to...
everybody
you're
can.
Gonna, yeah, and you're going to
really
see yourself move past the boundaries that you had set mentally for yourself. All right, that's it. I'm officially done blowing. That's it.
You keep hopping back on, so I wasn't sure. So, but yeah, I'm excited about the new gym. I think it sounds like a really great space.
It's gonna be.
You know, I mean, the idea of having competitions there that's exciting. Not that I'll participate in another competition.
You will,
but
you will.
I'm teasing. But it sounds like a really neat thing to have, because in my mind, I went to Kilo, I think once before they moved to their new place. Right, and they had that place for a long time. It was rough. This has only been a year, almost 2. It's 2 years. 2 years,
yeah.
And we're already to a new space that's so much bigger. So I mean, it's exciting. I see it as a bigger leap than Kilo was. Not to put Kilo down at all, but I think that I see it as a bigger leap because we're not as near as big as Cedar Falls is. They have a huge college, turnout and a lot of athletes and things like that. And I see us as being a smaller blue collar town that we could pull people into that. I think it's exciting. So no, I'm done blowing it. So
it's going to be, it'll be worth your trip down. And that goes for anybody. It'll be worth it. Just give it a shot.
The last time you were on, we started the podcast with, hey, so Nick, is there anything political that you're into? Is there any of this other
current
stuff?
events?
And you said to me, and I'll never forget this, dude, my life is CrossFit. I live and breathe it. That's all I think about. I think about the workouts. I think about managing the gym. I think about coaching and what we're gonna do. I'll tell you what, people, if you're listening to this and you want somebody who's single-mindedly going to change your fucking life, if you want somebody who is just fucking obsessed with something, I don't know if Nick could necessarily tell you who the president is, but I'm sure as hell positive that he could change you around and change your life and educate you and motivate you to love your body again. If you're one of those people that's you're middle-aged, fuck it. I've seen a lot of teenagers who look like shit. If you're one of those people that don't like where you're at physically and you're in the Cedar Rapids area, or if you just want to get online and go to CrossFit 2.2, boom, and you want to learn a little something, you want to get motivated, you want to see some videos, and there's some videos on YouTube of people from CrossFit 2.2, and you want to get motivated. Or if you do live in the area and you want to see Nick Rossin, you want to hear his voice, you want to be motivated by him, you want to get through the workouts, you want to say, God damn, this is a great family that I've just indoctrinated myself into. Go to CrossFit 2.2. Check out the grand opening on April 1st. Go to the first workout on March 3rd. And then you can see what we're blowing him about. And that's it. Todd, how can people watch us, or how can people tell other people to follow us?
The best thing is to go to the primalscream.org. While you're there, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're on iTunes, and we're also on, hold on,
50/50.
Stitcher.
You got it.
Yes. All right. Fucking Sketcher. I'm going to trademark Sketcher's name because I say
Maybe
it too.
You should go with Sketcher.
I probably should go with Sketcher. You follow us on Pinterest as well. I try to get a lot of CrossFit workouts on there. Those Primal kettlebells that On It selling. I got those on. The zombie ones are fucking sweet. Joe Rogan's always jerking off to them, but they're I just try to put stuff on there that's really, really fun to look at.
And functional.
Yeah. I try to put nutrition stuff on there as well, things that we hear about and bump into that we like. But you can just get on primalscream.org and you can check it all out.
There you go. And did you say YouTube?
No, I did not. I didn't say
YouTube?
It. Nope.
We're now putting our audio podcast on YouTube. Soon we'll have video. Todd obviously does not want to be shown, but maybe I can show the back of your sexy bald head.
Probably.
And you can see me. So at that point, you can be like, Matt is a lot different than what I thought he was.
We're both bald. We should probably tell that right away. So, I mean, we don't have any hair. So if you thought of us in a picture in your head with hair,
I'm going to fuck everybody up. I'm 6'5", and I'm the epitome of a black Nubian god.
Oh, that's awesome. So when
Oh,
people actually
yeah.
see it the first time, they'll be shocked.
Yeah, they'll watch it and go like, "Who the fuck? Am I on the right channel?" Wait a
make sure-
second. What he's saying kind of corresponds with everything else I've heard him say.
And make sure that when you get on there, you do the Primal Scream podcast.
That's
the
right.
Primal Scream podcast, because Primal Scream is a very popular band that's out there, the Primal Scream.
Yeah, that jacked me up for a while. I was like, okay, these guys are cool, but not what I wanted.
Yeah,
Look for
what
the
you
But
want.
now that it's cleared up,
Yeah,
it's
look for the
very-
gorilla.
Very simple to find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look for the gorilla. So on that note, thank you very much, Nick.
Yeah,
for
well, I
coming in.
appreciate it anytime, you guys.
It's good time.
I loved it, and even your stinky feet. Not that
Oh,
bad.
dude, they're
I think it was, I
They
didn't
weren't
even
even that
notice.
bad.
Well,
Not that bad.
Your
they're
personality
pretty
goes a long way.
bad. That's okay.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much,
well, I
buddy, for coming
appreciate it,
back in.
guys.
I love promoting your gym
I
and
appreciate
your
it.
work ethic and your workouts. And I like what you're doing with this.
Hunk of meat.
Yeah.
He's a slab of man.
You'll see.
Good, I like that. Slab
Yeah.
a man.
So
Makes
thank
it
you,
feel
everybody,
good.
for listening to the Primal Scream tonight. I'm Matt,
I am Todd.
and we'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.